Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Critical Beauty. Okay, so as you know, today's topic is going to be Miss Grand International 2024 or former Miss Grand International 2024, Rachel Gupta's resignation slash dethronement. It's a very hot topic. It's trending all over social media. So I figured we might as well have a group chat because everybody wants to know my opinion, the opinion of my guests as well. And, it's going to be a very, very interesting and passionate discussion. So I invited three of my good guests, Noemi Melendez, Wilfredo Lopez, and of course, George from the Pageant Empress. So we're just waiting for them to enter the chat room. Listen, guys, if you have any questions or comments, let me know by posting them in the description box below or the chat box below. Okay, don't be shy, don't be timid. Just say whatever you feel like. It doesn't matter. As long as it's respectful and also civil, that would be really, really, truly wonderful. So let's wait for them to enter. I see Noemi. Hey, hello, everybody. Hey,
Hi. Hello, hello from the universe.
what are you doing in outer space?
Floating.
Oh, yeah, it's your cosmic
I'm
experience.
cosmic. See, there you
Oh,
go.
okay. Well, you are looking fabulous, gorgeous tonight.
Thank you.
Are those
There's,
new glasses?
yeah, I got them for when I went to Vietnam, actually. I got new frames.
Hmm.
So
So they must be
yes.
really very cheap.
It was the only ones that they had that looked good because the rest of the frames were like the ones that I really liked were like super expensive. And at the moment, I just needed a replacement. So I was like, you know what, just give me these and
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on we'll figure it out.
So
But
but those are not prescription. Are they prescription?
no, they're prescription.
They're prescription.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
So did
yeah.
you also have like an eye exam?
Yes,
You
I
did.
did.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I
That's
have to
great.
go again because I want to get contacts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when are you going back? Are you attending this year's Miss Cosmo again?
Yes, I am.
Wow. Do we have a date yet?
We don't have a date. They told me that they will be announcing the date for the finals of Miss Cosmo Vietnam.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, it will be half in Vietnam and half in Thailand.
So the finals will be in
The
Thailand.
finals will be in Thailand.
Oh my God, that should be very, very exciting.
Yes. Yes.
As you know, Thailand has become the
It's
center.
now
It's
it's
like,
Thailand. Last year it was Vietnam. Everybody went to flocked to Vietnam, and now this year is Thailand,
so
which
there's gonna, so we're talking about like at least three major women's pageants
yes.
in Thailand,
It's,
not including, the Mr. Global, I think, and the
yeah.
Manhunt will also
Mhm.
take place in Thailand. So my God, so this is like the capital of pageantry now in the world.
Yeah, but you know what? That's fine because
Hmm.
I love Thailand. I haven't been to Thailand since, oh my God, since Lee's gave up her crown for Miss Grant. So I
Which
haven't been back.
was what, 11?
2015.
Oh my God, 10 years ago. Can you
Yes,
imagine? Oh my
I
God,
know.
how time flies.
I know. It's like me and Lise were talking the other day, yesterday actually, when this whole situation occurred.
Mhm.
And we were talking about, when we were in Thailand and the things that we did and that, it's going back to Thailand and she's like, I don't know if I should go or not go. So she's kind of like debating. But it's gonna be cool because I love Thailand. I love the spa. I'm very much, foodie. So, exploring food, getting massages, shopping,
The whole
you know how
thing.
it is. Or the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. And look who entered the chat room.
Yes.
It's our beloved, sweet, lovely friend, Wilfredo. Hi, Willie. How are you, darling?
Mabuhay, kumusta ka, darling?
Hello.
I
And
also like your glasses. Are they new?
gracias. Yes, I have two pairs. These ones are able, and I have my Calvin Kleins that I used already before in the previous one. So literally, you are the first ones to see them live. So, dun, dun,
Well,
dun.
they go very well with your entire outfit, your entire
Yeah,
ensemble.
I need to try to dress myself, but good for you.
Yeah.
I need to practice my Tagalog because Philippine is in power now.
Yeah,
Golden
well,
time.
we can talk about that. We can talk about that. Yes. We can
By
talk about that.
default.
Yes. So a lot
By
of things
Noemi,
are
mi
default.
corazón. Mwah.
so to those who are new to Critical Beauty, welcome. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. This channel is it's growing, but it's very, very gradually growing. And it's growing organically, okay? Which I prefer rather than buying fake followers, okay? Subscribers
Exactly.
like
Mhm.
other vloggers
Mhm.
are doing out there, okay? So thank you for your support. If you have been a very faithful follower since day one, oh my God, this is Critical Beauty started like 6 years ago, May 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I only had like I began with like three followers, two friends and myself. And then my own family have not even subscribed, maybe just one. That's about it. But all the others are like, good friends, strangers, followers,
Mhm.
fans, and whatnot. So I'm very, very glad. So before we start our discussion, I want to just say hello to everybody watching. Let me know where you guys are watching from. What country, what part of the world are you watching from? I would like to know where my followers are. Jonathan Eckenwale, I know where you live, Jonathan. You live in Massachusetts in Norwood, so we're basically neighbors, so we have to meet. So hello, hey, Jonathan, thank you. Jordy, hi, Jordy. Jan, hi, Jan, one of our good friends. Hi, Tito Rafa, thank you. All right, woohoo! So she just got off work. Um, somebody from Australia. Hey,
Ooh, down
Coco
under.
City. Coco, are you Roger, by the way? Just kidding. Roger.
I
Um,
think I see Lenka.
Jan says we miss Noemi. Yeah, Noemi has been away for a while, but I'm glad she's
Yeah.
back. Rita Cruz, do you agree now Miss Grand is the worst local contest in the world? We can talk about
No.
that, girl. We can talk about that. All right, that's why we're here for, so we can talk about these things. Regardless whether she was dethroned or not, no one would just walk away from a title they worked so hard to win. True, there's
True.
definitely some truth to her story. I hope with time she will find peace.
Mhm.
She was rightfully dethroned, nevertheless. Lenka, my God, Lenka. Hey, Rafa, good guys. Okay, so I sent you the link. Okay, I sent you the link so you can join our group. But I think, as you know, Lenka, by the way, is now a Buddhist nun. Go figure. Did you know that?
Oh.
What?
She is now a Buddhist nun. Okay, she lives in a Buddhist temple, I think, in Bangkok, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lenka. And yesterday she was telling me how her routine is like every day. She gets to clean the toilets and scrub. She said it's a very humbling experience, and I joked about it. Oh my God, I can just imagine you scrubbing the toilets wearing an expensive gown and 6-inch high heels. And she goes, that would be a great photo shoot, Rafa.
I
Let's
miss you,
do it.
Lenka.
Okay, Lenka, let's do that. That's an idea. Okay. So if you can join us, that would be great. But if you prefer, I suggested to her, if you prefer a separate interview, because as you know, Lenka did work with Rachel Gupta. She helped her, she coached her and whatnot. And she did not really have a very favorable experience with Rachel, the mother as well. So she asked me, Rafa, can we do like a separate interview where she can talk about her experience? And that's exactly what we're gonna do. So watch out for my separate interview with Lenka. Andy, hi, Rafa and Noemi. Nice to see you again. Well, Wilfredo is also here, so you can say hello to Wilfredo. Good morning, everyone, from Melvin. Hi, Melvin. I've been watching
Is that
since yeah. So Jan says, I've been watching since 2022. Look at you now. Yes, thank you, Jan. Thank you for all the support. I really, really appreciate it. And let me see, Andy. Greetings from Canada. Okay, so all of our wonderful Canadian friends watching. Frank says, hey, Rafa and gang from Texas. Somebody from Texas. Misha watching from Connecticut. Woohoo! Ibagarit Rafa. Good morning from India. Okay, we have a growing Indian following. So which is great. Incidentally, one of my Indian followers told me, Rafa, you know what? You're so big in India because of your YouTube channel. You're even bigger than Pawi of Mississology.
What?
I was like so shocked when he said that. You know why? Because Pawi does not do YouTube. He only does Facebook, Instagram. Pawi goes to all these different pageants and whatnot.
Yes.
So he covers them. And him, a good friend of mine, he likes to do all these poses with the contestants. All these selfies and
photo
whatnot.
shoots.
Yeah, and that's how he became very famous and very huge, but he's not a commentator. He doesn't give his opinion. Okay,
Exactly.
he's strictly somebody who likes to do coverage of these pageants. And so, I'm really, really happy that, my channel is very popular in India. So thank you, my Indian fans. I really appreciate that. Carly says, also, we love Czech Republic. Hopefully, the national director, Tatiana, does not take Teresa yelling that seriously. You know what? That has been debunked.
Yes,
That has been debunked. We're going to talk about that too as well. Hola, Rafa, from Eugenio Campos. Hi, Eugenio. How are you doing? Miss Curaçao, Akisha Albert's power sneaks through. Yes, Curaçao. The joke. Curaçao is the Philippines' lucky charm.
Yes, I saw.
So it seems to be true, but I would love to see Curaçao win a major crown someday.
Exactly.
Because they do have beautiful
contestants,
in that island. King Jones Del says, Mabuhay Sir Rafa, watching from Cagayan de Oro, Philippines. Hello, King. Hello, Cagayan de Oro. Beautiful city. I've never been there, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. Lenga says, yay. Yes, I just wanted to do a separate interview as I don't have as much time in the temple and wanted to share politely my experience, but I will try to pop on fast when on Wi-Fi. All right, let's do that. David says, do we know what's in MGI's contract? Maybe Noemi can tell us about the MGI contract.
Yes, I will discuss that.
Yeah, because Noemi, as you know, Noemi was a former director of Miss Grand Cuba. I love you because you love my girl from Trinidad. Yes, another girl from Trinidad people. When I did my Miss World picks with George of the Pageant Empress, I did mention Trinidad is one of my favorites. Yeah, so hopefully she wins the Caribbean title. David says, hello from Houston. Hello, Texas. Rita says, where is Antonio, my love? I don't know. I sent an invitation to everybody. Antonio did not respond. Maybe he's just too busy. He's more focused on Miss World because he's a big Miss World fan, and he doesn't really follow Miss Grand International, I don't think. Let me see. Jordy, there are many people saying that Nawat will make Miss Grand Czech Republic 2025 enter a top 5 because her director Tatiana defended Teresa. What do you think about that? Well, I don't know. People are saying all these things.
Yeah.
Is there really a basis for all these things? People can say anything they want on social media.
A bunch of directors made statements on their social media stating that they support Miss Grand International still, that they're still sending a delegate. And so that has nothing to do. The girls that place is because they worked for that position. Exactly. Period.
So people can say whatever they want. That's fine. It's the internet is a forum for free speech and free expression. You say whatever you want. I think the challenge is if you want to put something up there, you have to be sure to provide us with evidence.
Well, exactly. Show the receipts.
Show the receipts.
Exactly.
Muéstrame los recibos, por favor.
Eso, Rafa.
¿Dónde están los recibos, mi amor? ¿Ok? Dígame algo.
Gracias, Fernando, por ese cumplido.
All right, who's
Thank you.
watching? Wilfredo, your lovely sister Michelle Gonzalez is watching. Mwah! Hello, everyone. I hope you are well. My brother Luis, I love you, Rafa. I love you too. Kisses, thank you. Hope everything's
I think
going
Rafa,
well.
my sister is gonna adopt Rafa as the part of the family at this point.
That's right. Woohoo!
Yeah, Rafa's gonna be Filipino Rican.
Filipino Rican.
No, I feel say when I'm with you guys, I feel Puerto Rican. Okay, so I am Puerto Rican by osmosis.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Although I've never been to Puerto Rico, one of these days I will.
we need to plan.
Yeah. Okay, so the beauty Asian queen says, Mabuhay. This is Lawa Kiki from the beautiful island, the powerhouse of Asia, Philippines. Lenka, Jordy, no, MGI doesn't work like that. If Czech enters top 5, it would be she is rightfully belonging. Yeah, it's all about merit.
Mhm.
Okay, it's not because of favoritism, okay, etc. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned, and if you haven't, it's going to be a very probably long discussion, long chat. So I would recommend that you grab a bucket of popcorn or a bag of potato chips. Okay, maybe a bottle or two of your favorite alcoholic drink, or I'm sorry now, I don't promote alcoholism, non-alcoholic drink. I don't want YouTube, canceling my show because I start promoting, alcoholic drinks. Okay, no,
There
I
you
meant to
go.
say non-alcoholic drinks. Okay,
Exactly.
yeah, maybe almond milk is good for you. Any plant-based milk is good for you. Lots of water. If you have any
Mhm.
if you have any favorite brand of water, go drink it. I prefer Evian, any French
Me
water.
too. I love Evian.
Natural
Fiji.
spring water, natural French spring water. I'm not talking about the fake ones, okay? Okay, so yeah, so go drink your healthy French water, okay? Coffee, tea, put some lemon, ginger, whatever. Do anything you want. It's your body. You have every right to do whatever you want with your body, okay? Just don't drop dead. What else? Let me see. Yeah, so there are a lot of things that we can talk about. Now, see, I want to start by saying, uh, almost 2 days ago when Rachel published the announcement that she was going to resign, it was like 4:30 in the morning my time. Okay, I had to go to the bathroom because I had to go pee. Okay, so while I was sitting in the bathroom, I was checking my Instagram, and all of a sudden, there's all this news about Rachel, resigning from her position as Miss Grand International. We're blowing up all over Instagram and Facebook and all over social media. So I couldn't help but just like go scroll all these messages and whatnot and all these posts, and I couldn't go back to bed. Okay, so what's the point of going
Same.
back to bed if your mind has been like,
Yeah, it was a lot. I was about to go to
Mhm.
bed when I saw the post and I'm like, what? And then
Mhm.
because the first post I saw was actually Nawat's.
oh, okay,
Yes.
Okay. So the first when he said he was the first one that posted, that's true because the moment he posted that, it popped up in my social. And then was when Rachel submitted her, I
resignation.
Mhm.
renounced and
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
So, it was when I read it, I was like, what happened here? Because it really took us by surprise. We didn't see that coming at all.
Mhm.
Um, but again, there's so much to cover today and
Yes.
Yeah.
to dive in and to clarify because I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there about what Miss Grand International position is towards their queen and what they require their queen to do during the year. And I it irks me because these things, what it does is really affects pageantry in general.
Mhm.
Because the girls see this and then they wonder, should I really compete? Yes or no?
Yes.
And it really deters them for competing when, because of whatever situation happened, because not every year, for every girl, their year is different. It's not always the same. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's sad. I really feel for her because I feel like she was very hurt. I feel that her expectations were way too high for what Miss Grand offers, okay? This is a job. This is not Disneyland or fantasy or anything of the sort. You have to be really realistic. And I think both parties failed to kind of like discuss what are the requirements, what are our position towards you and what we require from you as a queen. I think that discussion was never taking into consideration. I think there was a lot of back and forth emails. There was not a one moment of
Yeah,
let's
it was
meet.
kind of like a very passive aggressive type of thing.
Yes, like, if we're gonna if I always say it's just best to sit down and just talk it out. And and just at least have that moment to talk it out.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I think what on her resignation message, Rachel said that she was going to release a video in the coming days, but I did not expect that she would release it like a couple of hours later after she had posted that thing. So I had made my own reaction video. When I found out the first time I found out about the resignation, and people were commenting in the comment section, how come your video is just one-sided? You're just telling one side of the story. Well, excuse me. Okay, I didn't realize that Rachel, would release her video so soon. That's why I didn't have any time to watch the video. So, but I did provide the link in the description, for a video. But now that she has released the video, I spent like like a couple of hours like watching it. Like, I know it's only 1 hour long, but I had to like pause. And for every claim that she would make, I would like pause it, and then I would check the internet or social media to verify what she said. Is this really true? Is this really true? And whatnot. And I mean, that's why I can't wait, for George, the pageant empress, to join us, because he and I were like discussing about this. Rafa, do you think what she's saying is true? Because it seems like she's faking a lot of these things. Okay, even her body language, I'm not an expert on body language, but she made certain gestures with her hands, with her face, that led me to believe that part of what she's saying she's not really entirely telling the truth. It's her truth video, okay, which is fine. We all have our own little truths. Okay, we have Nawat's truth, we have her truth, and we have the truth.
Truth,
Okay.
exactly. Which
All right,
we might never know.
which we will never know. Maybe only God will know. Okay.
Exactly.
So for the
I
meantime,
think,
go ahead,
I'm
Wilfred.
sorry. I think that because I watched the video, I think 5 to 7 times. Even at lunchtime, I was analyzing it again. Because I needed to use not only my knowledge in pageantry and stage presence, but I studied acting since I was little. So you learn the body language skills. And I would be honest, I think she came, like we said, with an expectation of something and didn't happen the way that needed to happen. She is hurt. I think, I think both sides are telling their own truth, but not the whole truth. They were, because, and I know we're going to discuss this, and I cannot wait for my beautiful pageant empress to be in.
Yeah,
Because
come on,
he's
George.
silent.
George just commented something. Come on, George, join us soon, please.
Well, he said that he ordered food and he hopes that it's not canceled, and I almost died in that comment. But okay. But I feel like I stand by the winning results. I continue standing. She was the winner for the pageant. But I think things happened, with the director, and all these situations happened. Was to I I am not shocked that something happened. I am shocked that happens before Miss World.
You know what? See, that's what I posted on my social media. If
Mhm.
she's going to release a video, please release it after Miss World. Because
Mhm.
but what did she do? She released it before Miss World anyway. Once
Yeah.
the new
Mhm.
Miss World has been crowned, Rachel is history. Nobody's
Exactly.
going to pay attention to her anymore. You know,
Exactly.
I noticed too, like when she in the first like half an hour after she published her video, her truth video, she had like what, like under 10,000 views. Now it's over 631,000 views, and she was able to get at least 25,000 new subscribers. Nobody knew that she had a YouTube channel. I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know that she had
Yeah,
a channel. Yeah, but now I check her past videos, and there were videos of her when she was like 15 or 16. She's doing her basic skincare routine when she was a teenager, which I thought was great. But I didn't know that she had a YouTube channel. But
Mhm.
now she's popular. Now she can make money. Okay, out of making more truth videos. Okay. But yes, I was like, okay, great. This is your momentum. Take advantage of it. People are talking about you. Okay, that's fine. That's great. We want to listen to your side of the story. But what about the other people that you mentioned in your video? See, this is one thing that really bothers me the most is that she said all
Mhm.
these things on her video without providing any evidence, without providing and everything. She was like very, very, what is the word? Hyper
Vague.
emotional to the point of, she's losing her balance like between her heart and her mind. Um, I mean, that's the way I would interpret it. I feel bad for her. I really do, because who wants to be in that situation anyway? Okay. And there are some corrupt, greedy, immoral, unethical,
Mhm.
and unprofessional pageant organizations. That is
Yes,
true. That's a
that is
fact.
true. That's a
Okay.
fact. Mhm.
Young women are lured into this organization, into this pageants with promises of big
Grander.
cash
Mhm.
prizes, with a lot of sponsors, gifts, cash prizes, travel all over the world and whatnot. This is what they do. They lure
Mhm.
in young women by announcing all these prizes, which probably do not
Exactly.
exist to begin with. Okay.
Mhm.
But I don't think that's the case with Miss Grant.
No.
Wouldn't you agree, Noemi?
No. In the contract, this is one thing that these young women need to understand. When you compete in a pageant and you sign the contract, when you sign it is because you're agreeing to the terms and conditions of that contract. Okay. Now, if you signed it and suddenly you don't agree with certain terms in the contract, unfortunately, you have no leg to stand on because you already signed a contract and you agreed by it. Now, if you don't agree on certain terms of the contract, then what you should have done is discuss it before signing it, okay? And negotiate if you can. Some of these, pageants are just standard, contract pageant legal documents where
Mhm.
it literally it states what the organization is doing for you. They get you an apartment. They tell you when they're going to give you your prize money. They tell you when if it's money or if it's material things, when you get them. It states all of that in detail in the contract. There's nothing that they are holding back or not telling you. You just
Mhm.
need to really pay attention on what you're signing. And these girls think that they could sign a contract and then later negotiate the terms. No,
No, it doesn't
it
work that
doesn't
way.
work that
No.
way.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So
work that way.
yeah, which made me question, did she have a lawyer look into this contract? I'm
See,
wondering.
that's a thing. So, when you win, immediately you sign a contract with the organization because you are the winner for the pageant. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, if you're not agreeing with and you're not understanding the terms or you just don't have time to read it, then take your time, send it to a lawyer and have them read it and know exactly what you are signing and know exactly what you're getting into. I know for a fact because remember, I was a director for Miss Grand International for Cuba for 10 years. Okay. I already have one winner, which is Lee Garcia. We've already went through this year. What she stated that she was dumped. Basically, that's what she said. She was dumped, or she was just put in an apartment very far away from everything, etc. The year that Lee's won, she had an apartment. It was not very central. It was literally, it was quite far from like the city, but it was it was part of the prizes. Okay. So when I was listening to her in the video and she was saying, oh, they don't give me no food, and they don't give me any toiletries, and they didn't give me a car or a cell phone. Mama, that's not even in the contract. They don't give you, those are things that they don't give you. I don't know who told her or why she would expect that, but when she said the car, it was like, what?
What car?
What car are you talking about, girlfriend? Like, no, mommy, no. It's just like when when you have a job and they relocate you to an apartment. Okay. So you have a furnished apartment, but the things that you need, right? Like toiletries, food and stuff, you need to provide it yourself.
Exactly.
The company is not going to provide that.
Right.
So, if you felt that where they put you in was too far and it was not central for you, and it was, not convenient in regards to transportation, which I understand, because again, you're going to a foreign country, you don't really know the transportation, you don't know the areas. I get it. I get it. I think this is another situation of a girl that's never lived alone. And, she never lived alone in an apartment. She's a very much close to her family. She's lived with her family all this time. So it's very difficult for you to leave that safe environment, right? That family environment, to be, put in a situation where you're alone. You don't know the language, right? You don't have any friends. You're kind of far away from like central things. And yes, it happened to Lise. Lise was like, yes, it exactly what she said happened to me. However, Lise is older than she is, right? And so what she did was she had to walk a mile from her apartment to go to the closest train station to be able to move around. But she did it. She walked to this train station. She learned how to use public transportation to get where she needed to go to.
Yes.
She bought her own food. She didn't depend on Miss Grand International to send her a delivery of food.
She did not have any assistance.
She didn't have any
No personal
assistance.
assistance, yeah.
You don't have a personal assistant because that is not part of the contract. Okay. When you win, you do not have a calendar full of events. That's maybe in the beginning because you won and you have all these events coming on. But afterwards, there's kind of like a pause, right? There's kind of like everything dies down. So there's a lot of downtime in between. So when Lise would tell me there's a lot of downtime when you're Miss Grand International, especially if you're living in Thailand. So I think the fact that she didn't have any friends, she didn't know anybody, that really bothered her. And she felt alone. She felt isolated, which I totally understand and I totally get. But that happens to each and every one of the girls because it's not your country. It's a country that, you're only staying there for a year.
Right.
And you have to learn how to navigate and ask questions. You have your team there.
Yeah. And I don't think the organization would put their queen in a space where they don't feel it's safe.
No.
Do you remember the case with Anaya Garcia, Miss Dominican,
Yes.
Miss Grand 2015. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
2015 from the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was, and now she's doing the rounds on the internet and social
Of
media,
course, because now she's relevant. Now she's
narrating.
back. Now she's
Yeah,
relevant again.
because it's
Sorry.
exactly 10 years. It's a 10-year mark from her dethrone from MGI, and now 10 years later happens again, and the allegations are almost mixed. And this is the thing that any contestant needs to realize. Whatever treatment, winning prizes, and package you get on a national level has nothing to do with the winning package and treatment that you will get on an international level. It's completely different. Like when the girls in Miss Universe live in New York, they need to walk, they need to take the train, they need to do certain things. You know, she mentioned something about stipends. I mean, if you are winning, you depend on the money that they're gonna give that little money every month. That's the money that you need to use to buy your
Buy your
stuff.
food.
Mhm.
And you live in Asia, which, for what I heard,
Super
I've never
cheap.
been there. Hopefully, this is the year that I'm going to Asia. Thanks God. I will be able to experience that. But I mean, Thailand, Vietnam are countries that, you know, it's cheap when you change. Of course, I'm talking from dollars to their
Yeah, but
currency.
she's
I don't
getting
know
paid
how
in American currency.
exactly.
So
So
it will stretch out.
it
You
will
just have
stretch
to know how
out.
to budget.
Yep.
You need,
And
like anything.
and exact, I mean, I don't know exactly where it's located, but that is one of the things that you mentioned, Noemi, about Liz, which I love her so much. She is one of the best Miss Grand ever.
I asked Noemi if Lee could come to our discussion. And what did Lee say?
No. No.
And this is the thing, Liz is a
I
very
even offered to pay
professional
her $100,
in,
but she
in
turned me down.
rupees. In rupees. No, I mean
100 US dollars.
Liz is very professional. She's a person that is very objective, and she's a queen that until the end of time she would not put herself in the line of fire or be involved in gossiping or whatever, because and that's the reason why they love her, and I applaud that. But going back to this situation, I remember, and let me correct me because I just remember this, when Janely Chaparro was the first one,
Mhm.
she did her great job, and because of her job, and then Liz, Grand became a Grand Slam. But if I'm not mistaken, they asked the same question to Liz, something about if you can get ready yourself, something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And Liz says yes. Right there, if an organization is asking you, can you take care of yourself? Can you be your own boss person? Can be proactive? That
They
means
actually
that even
they
if they are not
actually yeah,
physically there, you can do the job.
they encourage you to be independent. That's the whole
You
thing.
have to be
You have to be
independent. You
independent. You
have
cannot
Mhm.
to.
rely. Yeah,
You cannot come
100%.
into this situation. Okay, this is the situation many of these girls face. They come in, oh my God, I won, I'm going to be the queen, everything is going to be taken care of. No,
Given.
it doesn't work that way. It
No,
does
it
not
doesn't.
work that way.
No, it
You
doesn't.
have to be independent. Lee's on many occasions and a lot of occasions in Thailand, she had to go to personal appearances on her own.
Hmm.
Teresa couldn't go for whatever reason. Nawat couldn't go for whatever reason, and she had to go by herself.
Right. Exactly.
And she's not going to be, she said she wasn't going to get upset because nobody from the staff was going to be there. No, she went, did her thing, and that was it. And these actually stayed after she gave up the crown. She stayed an additional 3 months in Thailand after the fact,
Hmm.
until her visa ran out, and then she had to go back to the US.
Right.
But she made friends. She learned the transportation system. at the time she met a guy and she was dating this guy over there. So, it kind of like, she made a life over there. She ended up making a life over there.
Yeah.
And so these are things that I feel like a lot has to do with her, maybe her maturity.
Well, you
Not
mentioned
having,
you mentioned earlier that she probably had a very sheltered life.
exactly. I
She
don't
was
think
she was
she
close
has
to her mother, her
experienced
sister. Yep.
life, life per se with
Mhm.
outside of their family, you know, I don't think she has. And I think that was one of the problems.
Mhm.
She's like, oh, where's my mama, papa? You should. And I'm like, yeah, but they're your national directors. There's a difference,
Right.
darling. There
Right.
is a difference. They're your boss.
You
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 have
have
your
your professional
parents.
family and then you have your own personal family.
Exactly. So you cannot depend on Teresa to be holding your hand, and you have to be independent. You just
Mhm.
have to. And it has nothing to do with abandonment. It has nothing to do with they were being
Or
mean to
neglect.
me
Yep.
or neglect. It
Mhm.
has nothing to do with that. I
Mhm.
mean, it again, they are offering, and it's on in the contract. You
Mhm.
have your apartment, you have this, you have that. The rest, you're on
Excuse me.
your own. You need to
Mhm.
find your food, you need to go shopping, you need to learn how to cook. I'm sure she doesn't know how to cook because nowadays, this generation don't know how to cook. Let's be real.
I'm sure she can boil water, okay?
Fabulous. But but
Boil an egg
these
or
are just
something.
basic things to be able to live, just,
Mhm.
and survive. And I don't think um her family, she wasn't in a situation where she needed to do that, opposed to maybe somebody from maybe Latin America or Europe that, they grew up and they're adults and they move out of their homes and then they're independent and living by themselves.
Well, you have to people also need to understand that she comes from a very affluent
Hmm.
background, affluent family. Her father
That's another thing.
is a successful businessman. I mean, they have money. So imagine yourself growing up in a very sheltered home where you're surrounded with like 15 servants serving you. So
Yeah,
she never really actually learned to do all these
exactly.
basic chores, household chores herself. That's not an excuse though, not to be
No,
able
it's
That
not.
sounds like an
to
excuse, Rafa. Just because you grew up privileged does not mean you cannot cook, right? Like I think you should just that's human basic thing. I think you should be able to cook.
yeah,
Whether it's
Well,
Well,
at
exactly.
least you know
breakfast,
what? There's
lunch.
something called a microwave. There's something called
Yeah.
a crock pot.
You
There's,
know, there's a
A
thing
grocery
called
store, a
yeah, like
supermarket,
there's a thing called Grab Food that I just ordered my breakfast. I was waiting for
Mhm.
it because the delivery guy got a bit late. He got about 20 minutes
uh,
late, not 2 hours. So that's why I was slightly late for the Zoom
that's fine.
interview. So you can
Mhm.
just order
so
food online. Yeah.
they didn't cancel your order because of the distance.
You know what? Yeah, like I was so shocked they did not cancel the order. I thought they would cancel the
Okay.
order because I live in the middle of nowhere and there is no options for me to get food except like Grab. So
Mhm.
like yeah,
So you're just
if it
like
got there within
Rachel.
20, yeah,
I used Grab when I was in Vietnam, as well. When
Mhm.
I didn't want to, when the restaurant in our hotel was already closed, I would just
Yeah.
order Grab. It's same as here in the States, Uber Eats. You don't
accessible.
want to feel like cooking, you just order.
Yeah,
There
exactly. Yeah.
it
So
is. But
I would think that Rachel probably had some, those food apps on her iPhone that she could have just like, call them and order something,
yeah, but again, she's blaming the organization. You didn't buy me fruit. If okay, Lee's is vegetarian as well for FY, so you guys know. And so her diet was very specific, and she knew that, the organization knew that, and she is responsible for getting her food. So she would go and buy her food and cook her food. Janelle, when she left the apartment, because the apartment where Lee stayed was the same that Janelle used. So she had purchased a rice cooker and gave it to Lee's, and Lee's had a little rice cooker. So, it's like she bought like plates and utensils and just the basics to be able to cook something to eat. But that's all your responsibility to get. That,
Exactly.
you don't,
I
they
mean,
don't come in with all
at the
of
end of the
that in the
day,
apartment.
at the end of the day, like I said before, this content, everything starts with national directors, and that is kind of, hopefully we can get into it. I think there's much into the play. Putting aside the Rachel's upbringing, and things like that, there's some things that you need to learn and things like that. But like I said, culturally speaking, there's always a cultural shock. When you are gonna compete, your coaches, your organization needs to train you of what you're going to encounter and let you know if you win, learn their gastronomy, learn their lifestyle. Because
Yeah.
and it's in the contrast. There are organizations that literally, when you win a national title, the only thing that said to you is, this is the contract, we're going to give you the plane ticket. The rest, God bless you, try to fund it yourself. It's in black and white. I, again, for me, Rachel's still the winner because she rightfully so. But I believe that after that night happens and what happened with the director and all this hoopalala going on affected the relationship, and maybe she was caught in the middle of the storm. I believe that sometimes, and this is something that I tell people, when you are competing, you are not competing yourself. Your coaches are competing with you. Your family is competing with you. Your directors are competing with you, because you can be an excellent candidate, but if the people around you are troublemakers, or it's going to be a headache for the organization, they will not choose you or work with you, not because of you, but because the people that is around you, working with you or supporting you, because that's going to be the problem, and that is not something new. Right? There is why I always say, when you compete, your team needs to be 100% with you,
Mhm.
not preventing you to advance or win, not being the reason why that you are not making it further or even win the title or get the contract. And I think there's some people around her, and I don't know her, but that's just why I say, I don't know her. She's not my best friend or nothing. She's not on my phone. I just go by what I see. But let's be honest. I feel the fallout started when the national director from India
Nikhil,
and
and
all the problems. So
we can talk about Nikhil too.
exactly. So that is what I'm gonna say as of right now. But Savarika, Pageant Empress, I miss you, George.
Hello,
Hi,
hello, Noemi.
George.
Nice to see you guys again. By the way, if you're feeling extra hungry, there is a snack behind me. It's called Papa Nawat. I think it's called mango. It's from
Oh,
India.
nice. Mango.
It's quite delicious, right? It's like full of vitamins, and yeah, I think like you can see behind me. His
Well,
face is right in the
oh,
packaging.
was that the one that Rachel
No,
allegedly
it was fish.
allegedly
It
made?
was chili oil, I think it was.
Allegedly, yeah.
Okay.
It was made before coming to Cambodia for the Miss Grand International.
Mhm.
So we had no idea that you had to sell products, before going to MGI. It's
Yes.
completely new concept. Yeah, it's
That's
like
a new
foreign
concept. That's another
Yeah.
thing that it's
You
new.
know what? Okay, this is like a little trivia. Okay, when she competed in Miss Grand India, she won the best national costume, the best state costume, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
From that pageant. And you know who designed her costume? Our good friend Melvin Nerona. Melvin Nerona
Oh.
designed her
Yes.
costume, and it was his idea to put Nawat's image on that pseudo mango product thing on her costume, and that
Oh.
attracted the attention of Nawat.
Mhm.
So that's why he fell in love with her, because, oh my God, she's my winner right there, because her costume has my face on a costume. So yeah, so that's why she won. Yeah,
Marketing. It's a marketing.
it's a marketing ploy. So
Yeah.
Melvin actually studied the pageant. He
Mhm.
studied the pageant, from front to back page. So that's why she won
Yes.
her national competition, because
Mhm.
of Melvin's expertise. I just want to acknowledge that. Now, before we continue, I just want to read some of the comments because there's a lot of people who are like very giving me all these mixed reactions and whatnot. Randy Lucas says, we need proof because Rachel's claims are unprecedented. The previous queens seem to have gotten along with the MGI organization. Yeah, that's true. The MGI house that was posted is not in any way dilapidated, as she said. Miss Aura 2023 said the house is close to Nawat's house and it's just 15 to 20 minutes ride to town. Okay. Sam Gautam, your discussion seems very one-sided and I need to leave. Okay, whatever.
Okay, bye.
I always listen to your videos, but it's very one-sided this time. What do you mean one-sided? You know, we all took the time to watch Rachel's video. Did we not?
We're not. I mean, where
Because I
is he
can't hear
coming
you.
with the one-sided thing? Because we
Yeah, what
haven't
is
even
this
said anything.
one-sided thing? I literally spent 2 hours of my precious busy life to actually analyze your videos, and I jotted down all these things.
Yeah.
Everybody
So
gave her a chance.
we
Everybody
have,
gave
we have notes about
a chance to
the
listen to her story. Okay, but
Yeah.
like again, either you believe her or you don't. Either you believe MGI or you don't. Okay.
Exactly.
But if somebody is making all these claims, would it only be logical to request proof, evidence?
Exactly.
As if you're in court. If you're going to accuse somebody of rape, okay,
Yeah.
show me the proof that you actually raped this person. If you're accusing somebody of theft, show me proof. Do you have like a hidden camera somewhere? Do you have any witnesses? Okay, that would support your claim. I mean, it's just common sense. But where is the proof? So to this day, Rachel has not provided any proofs. I can understand. What also disgusts me about this whole issue is that they're making it to be like Filipinos again versus Indians, or MGI versus India. Okay, Nawat hates Indians. Okay,
No,
is
it
Indian
has
people.
nothing to do with that.
Okay, all these like racist, ethnic, national thing. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever.
No.
Okay, so this is the thing. You know, there isn't a day that George knows it. I mean, I've been posting it on my Instagram stories. There isn't a day that goes by that all these angry Indian people are attacking me, in my DM, in my direct messages and whatnot. And of course, if you people attack me, I will attack you back. Okay, I will shame you on my Instagram stories, and that's exactly what I have been doing all along. And look in the background. Okay, these are the screenshots that I made. And I posted on my Instagram stories just to let people know what she was saying, alleging on her truth video. So if do you call that one-sided from my part? No. I posted her stuff exactly on my Instagram. So if you think that any one of us is being one-sided, you know what? Go ahead, think like that. That's fine.
But this is the thing, fanatic. When somebody is a fanatic, and that's what I say, when you need to be objective. But when people are so fanatic, their objectiveness and their common sense is blinded. And we don't work for MGI Miss Rita Cruz.
Oh my
we
God,
are not bloggers. Oh, I'm gonna call her out because I like to call people
Rafa,
out.
how much does MGI pay?
They don't pay my bills, number one. I'm just being objective. I defended, and I will still defend Rachel's winning because I believe that she was the true winner. But let's be honest, we are all humans. We are not perfect. Something happened over there, and both sides are not coming completely clean. Because even in the receipt that MGI is, in this case, now what is showing, and the email about Rachel that was disgusting, and the phone number that they posted that belonged to from a Filipino queen. There's some things that are going on from both sides. Again, this is not to bring Rachel Gupta down. Never. We are analyzing her video. We are here to be objective, and we're using the information that we get. There's both sides are getting defended. They're former grand queens, title holders from national countries supporting Rachel and coming out and talking. So that means there's some truth of what she's saying, but at the same time, there's some truth of what the MGI organization is saying. This is a business at the end of the day. And I will not allow nobody that hide their face behind a keyboard to say that we get paid by MGI because, honey, my money comes from other sources and it's not MGI. I've been doing this for long. Rafa is a professional, Noemi too, a pageant empress. So don't try to come for us because I will come for you, Miss Rita Cruz. Continue, Rafa. Sorry.
Okay, you guys are like you guys are flooding the comment section with your
Yeah.
thoughts and comments. I can't possibly read, but you know what? If you want me to read your comment, you have to pay for that because we now have the super chat. Okay, so if you're willing to donate a certain amount, your comment will be highlighted, and I'd be more than happy to read that to the audience. But I can't possibly read every line, everything here, and some of these lines are repetitive. Okay, if you guys want to fight with each other, go ahead and fight. Okay.
Yeah, we're not interested in fighting. We're here.
We're here
to clear, whatever miscommunication
to make you
is out there,
understand how
it
the pageant
runs.
industry actually works.
Runs.
Okay, so
Exactly.
I would think a lot of these people who attack us for expressing our opinions have never attended a pageant, have never witnessed a pageant, have never worked with any pageant girls, who have never coached a pageant girl, so have never sponsored anything, so forth and so on. So they base everything on what they see on social media, and then they they formulate their thoughts and opinions based strictly on what the social media, shows them without digging deeper. Okay,
exactly.
So that is the problem. And all the hate messages that I get from crazy Indian trolls, I can literally make a book. And keep them coming, okay? Because the more you send me all these hateful messages, the more people will realize, you know what? There is something wrong with this mob mentality thing. It's a mob mentality.
Yeah.
You can say the same. Yeah, you can say the same thing. You can say the same thing with Filipinos, with Puerto Ricans, with Mexicans, with Colombians, with anything. It's the same mob mentality. Just because somebody somebody criticizes your girl and somebody does not believe all her claims on her truth video doesn't mean that we hate Indian people, that we hate Indian girls.
Let's just be clear. This video has nothing to do with Indian people. We're only talking about Rachel and the claim that she has made accusation that she has made against the MGI. So this is nothing about a country. It's about individual. So let's get that clear. I think people need to be a bit more critical and mindful when they are posting on comment section, because I get it daily too, like Rafa. Just because I post about the truth or the statements done by the national directors, it does not mean that I hate that country. I'm just letting them have a platform to talk about their truth. And I think it's important for us to have a meaningful conversation like this so we could talk about it, because there's not just one truth to it. There are many different sides to a truth, according to what they said.
Yeah. And here, I am one that I've already went through the process. So I think I'm the most qualified to say
you are. And people are saying, thank you, Noemi, for for your opinion. Yeah, because you've lived it.
I've already went through it.
You have lived it. So that's why, your opinion is so significant, is so important, because you've lived it. Now, okay, so can we talk about, as you know, the Miss Grand International Organization on their official Facebook page posted a chronological summary of Rachel Gupta's title revocation. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yes, I saw that.
It looked very professional. Yeah, it looked very professional. And I think, we can criticize about, the fact that Nawat, knowing Nawat, he has a very
he has no filter.
He has
an explosive personality.
Very
exactly. He goes with emotion.
Very bombastic, etc. But for every emotion that he demonstrates, at least he backs it up with something, with some evidence of some sort. Okay.
Evidence,
And understand too that you know, this is his baby. Miss Grand is his baby.
And
Okay.
he has the right to defend his business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is the second girl in what, 10 years?
10 years exactly.
10 years that is
10
resigning.
years
This
exactly.
is a big deal. This is not good for business. Let's
No,
be
it's
real.
not.
It is
No,
not
it's
good
not.
for business. I am, you know, again, Nawat and Teresa, I've worked with them for 10 years. Okay. I've never had any issues with any of them ever.
Well, as long as you pay
Ever.
the franchise fee, that's all that matters,
Well,
right?
of course, duh. But even before, I mean, I don't have any ill will towards them at all, you know, and I still follow them. They still follow me. I mean, it's there's no, the relationship is still there, you know, and the relationship that Lee's has with them, that they still do, you know, has not broken or anything of the sort. Again, every queen has their version of their year, okay? But this is a really sad moment. I'm not throwing shade to Rachel. I'm just saying that there are certain things, again, she had too many expectations, large expectations, okay? And the reality is something else. I think that, you know, these girls really need to have a sit-down conversation, read the contract, understand it, you know, and understand that this is a job. This is not just, you know, gowns and looking pretty. You know, everything is fabulous when everything is good, right? But then when things get a little tough, immediately everybody starts, you know, complaining and you know, about, oh my God, this is so horrible. This is, you know what? When you work in the real world, there's days that are good days and there's bad days. That's just how life is in general. Either you know how to deal with it or you don't. It's just a fact of life. I mean, it is what it
Would
is,
it
you know.
wouldn't it be funny though if Rachel crosses over to the Miss Universe system?
But she wouldn't do that because now what is involved?
I was just joking, okay?
Yeah, yeah. That option
Okay.
is no longer available. If Nawat wasn't in Miss Universe organization, I'm sure she might have, you know, might do that jump.
Right.
But if we really look at it, Miss Universe is the same situation. It's exactly the same. Miss
Of
World is
course.
exactly the same. You know, so
We can talk about Miss Universe later if you want.
yeah, so
you know.
Yes.
you know, you can't say, oh, they left me in New York when the girls had the apartment in New York and for Miss Universe. They weren't always booked 24/7.
Exactly.
Many times they were in New York, they were just there. It was a lot of downtime, you know, and they were doing their own thing.
Exactly.
During COVID, what the hell were they doing? They couldn't do anything. So what did the Soci did? Go online and start, you know, doing YouTube videos. That was the only
Like
thing she could have
tutorials and
done.
stuff.
So you have to really reinvent yourself. You can't be waiting
Improvise.
for the organization to guide you, to tell you what to do, because they'll tell you what to do to a certain point. But the rest of the year is up to you, how you make it your own. It's up to you. It's not up to the organization.
Right. Exactly.
So, you know, that's another thing that many of these girls, oh, you know, the organization needs to, you know, pay attention to me. Yes, but they get busy with other stuff because they have to, once one pageant is done, okay, and they go through all the hype and everything, they have to start looking for next year and planning for next year.
Right. Exactly. Totally agree.
You know, so again, I feel bad for her. I feel her. I understand. You know, she was lonely. She was in a foreign country. She didn't understand the language. She didn't like to be alone, blah, 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 blah. But this is what you sign up for. This is exactly what you signed up for.
And I think oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rafa.
Somebody saying stop saying the word objective. You guys are not objective. You're bullies. All right, whatever.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you for coming.
I felt Rachel is too entitled. Watch her TikTok argument with Miss France, which led to Miss France being fired. That time I felt that was too unfair. Rachel was too entitled. The other candidates felt that too. Yeah.
Yeah, also I want to talk about Miss France for a bit. I feel that we all owe her an apology because I think a lot of the pageant community, especially fans, kind of like dragged Miss France just because she was telling her truth. And at that time, a lot of us did not believe her. So I would actually like to express my apology to Miss France because clearly she knew it all along what was going on behind the scenes. And I'm sorry that
nobody believed her.
yeah, no one believed Miss France. So
Yeah.
I just want to take this moment to say I'm sorry if I ever said anything bad to Miss France because clearly she was right all along. And a lot of the contestants could see it because if you see the Miss Philippines announcement as the new Miss Grand International, most of the top 10 queens and also the contestants have actually been very positive. Yeah, congratulative, expressed
Yeah.
very positive reaction. So that says a lot about the beauty queen.
They truly felt that CJ was the rightful winner. And
Yeah.
I think in a way too, like in a way, I feel like Nawat felt sorry that he did not pick CJ. Maybe because he felt a lot of pressure, or maybe because all these promises of if Rachel had won, then the Bollywood or will eventually will reach out to her, and the Miss Grand International brand will be very popular in India.
But that was an option. That door was
Exactly.
open right there. But then when the renewal of the contract came along and Nick couldn't, try to negotiate his contract because they jacked up his price because obviously if you win, and it's same with Miss Universe, if you win the title, know for a fact that your license fee is going to be raised.
Astronomical, yeah.
Yes, because now you are a contender. See, you're a contender. So, when Nick got the contract and he didn't agree with, the pricing and all that stuff, and he tried to negotiate and that didn't go through, and he decided to back off. I'm not going to sign this. I'm not going to agree. I think that door closed right there because who has the contact for Bollywood and all that is Nick.
Mm-hmm. True.
And that is the reason I'm saying that once the fallout of the director for Miss Grand India at that time happens, everything else fall out. I mean, everything was supposed to happen. And again, I'm not saying that Philippines is not a well-deserved contender, because for a short period for her to get ready and be first runner up, that is commendable. She's beautiful. Again, I hope this 5 months that she have as Miss Grand International, everything goes well. But this is the thing. When you are a queen, you sign for a job. This is a real world. When I sign for a job and I get hired, they don't give me a card. They don't give me certain things. I need to show up to the office and I need to do my job. So I don't know exactly how MGI work that part about who's the PR, need to report to MGI offices, what I need to do today. Do I have an agenda? What do you want me to do? Each pageant has their own theme. When Denise Quiñones was Miss Universe and Zuleika Rivera, they needed to go to Trump Tower. They have an agenda. They have a PR. Everything is organized. So it's up to the organization to work hand in hand with the queen, the PR team, whoever is going to be developing the calendar. Hey, these are the things that you need to do. You off these days. If you come up with something, let us know here, there, because again, everything is culturally different. For what I learned so far in Asia, when my girl won in China, they asked her the same question. Are you self-sufficient? Can you get ready yourself? And she said yes. She ended up winning the next day. So for what I gather in key Asian countries, when they have their pageant, they want somebody that is more self-sufficient because they're not going to be like on top of them you need to do this. You need to be your own boss lady compared to other pageants, like at that time Miss Universe, or nationally speaking, like in Miss Puerto Rico, or key countries that you need to report to the organization office every day. You need to see your agenda. You need to go out and work because it's a job. The glamour happens on preliminary competition, final night, special events, and when you give your title. Any other day, you need to work. You need to promote the brand. Although, this is one thing that I criticize, is I never in my life thought that I would see a pageant that they would use their queens as a sell products, commercial models, and selling stuff. I think for me that is very degrading. You are an ambassador of a brand. You are an ambassador of a pageant. You are not an ambassador of a soy sauce. That is degrading for the brand. And another thing that Rachel said, that we said it before, and Rafa, you pointed out too, is where is the platform? MGI technically lived by the platform for the first 2 years. After that, where is the platform?
Yeah.
Why we don't see any MGI being out there giving message of hopes, like Beauty with the Purpose with Julia Morley? That
I would like to step in this one because actually they have changed the slogan from "Stop the War and Violence" to "We are Grand, the One and Only." So they've actually, it's been a while since NCLAS year. They have actually moved on from the "Stop the War and Violence." So they're not actually doing a lot of charity work. If you are doing it, that's great, right? If you have social project, like I know that Rachel was doing something in her country regarding some victims. I think in Delhi, she did some protests. Like, that's great, right? But that is not the focus point. They have shifted it now towards "We are Grand, the One and Only." So I think fans have still got that mindset that the Miss Grand International is still about stop the war and violence. It is not. They've already changed that.
George,
well, it's unrealistic anyway.
Then why, and this is me just asking, if we don't going to do the stop the war or whatever slogan, why you need to spend 1 minute doing a freaking speech about stop the war every freaking year?
I think it's just part of the courtesy. Like, every pageant has a format to follow, right? So they're just doing that as part of format, just part of courtesy. But they're not actually doing that as being a Miss Grand International.
There is no such thing as world peace, okay? Can we just
exactly
that?
But
it's a myth.
But that's what I'm.
There will never be world.
That's what I'm talking.
As long as there are humans on Earth, there will never be world peace. Okay,
I
want to put it out there.
Yeah. So it's not realistic. It's just, I know it started as that, but they have slowly gone towards like "We're Grand, the One and Only," which is more about business and traveling the world and spreading the message of Miss Grand International. One thing I would like to step in and say, I think one of the reasons that Nawad was kind of upset is because I also got a message by the new national director, Miss Akanksha Thakur. So she is part of the Star Entertainment, also the new Miss Grand India director. She told me that after she landed, Rachel landed in India, where she has actually prepared so much for the homecoming. It's almost 1 month to prepare for the homecoming. In the end, like she had like a limousine. There was a lot of cars, security guard, like people coming. In the end, Rachel kind of like discarded everything she did and said that it's her father who organized the homecoming. So for me, I would feel really disrespected if I was the national director, because you have spent about a month to prepare everything for her to do a homecoming in India. But her to disregard, to say it was only my father who was responsible behind the homecoming. Would you not feel disrespected that the Queen, I know it's a different organization, but still now you have to work with a new organization, I think. And also she told me that she did collaboration with Rachel in a lot of the posts in India to promote Miss Grand India 2025. But now she has removed that tag of a collaboration. So it's no longer in her profile. So I think that is a lot of says about unprofessionalism, because I know that it is a different organization, but you still have to work with them because they have the franchisee.
Exactly.
For
the they have to promote their country. They have to promote the franchise, regardless whether somebody else new is running it. You are Miss Grand International. You're not the national queen. You're the international queen. So, one thing that really got me angry, and as a national director, and my heart broke when I saw this, is that these organizations are paying. When you invite a Miss Grand International to your country, you as a national director are responsible for their airfare, ground transportation, hotel, and meals during the time that they are in whatever country. Okay. Plus, you have to pay a fee. Okay. This fee to Miss Grand International. Now, when I saw the tickets for Guatemala, the tickets for
Yeah,
Spain,
we talk about that.
I mean, I was like, okay, these were already in the calendar because you knew this way in advance, because these are not opportunities that are like out of the blue. Oh, this, no, these are already scheduled in your itinerary. And the fact that you decide to leave and leave them dangling, that's money that they don't get back. They don't get that money back. Okay. When you fly to South America, those tickets are extremely expensive. Extremely expensive to fly into Latin America. Okay. Same as, from Europe, it's a little different because she's in India. In Europe, it's a little more closer. It's not that bad. But when you're going from one continent to another, that's really expensive. And I thought that was such a slap in the face for the national directors, because that is money that they're spending and they're not getting it back. And you have to, as a queen, you have to keep that in mind, that you are responsible to go to these events. And the fact that, oh, I didn't have, MGI has to promote me, MGI needs to find me jobs. Read the contract, because it states it right there. They're not responsible in getting you jobs, modeling jobs or anything. If it happens to be that somebody calls and they want to use her image as Miss Grand International to promote whatever product, then that's a whole different story. Yeah. Then MGI negotiates that contract and gets their percentage, because they do get a percentage. And, Rachel gets her percentage. That was another thing that I saw, that they're like, oh, $1,000 is it's not at my level. Honey, that's in the contract. That's in the contract that you signed, and it states it right there. So you can't renegotiate $1,000, that fee, when it's already stipulated in the contract that you signed and you agreed on. That's another thing.
Also, can I add something to that? I know Rachel says she was not getting a lot of jobs, but I think we're forgetting that she also had paperwork issues, like visa problems, because of her paperwork. So it took a while to actually travel. She only went to, I think, Czech Republic as a Miss International, but attending the national pageant. So she cannot complain about, oh, I did not get to travel, because you had your own problems, right? Then after you go to Czech Republic, she complained saying, okay, the price is too low. There were tons of countries, Spain, Honduras, there were a lot of countries in schedule for her to travel to. So if she was being smart, she would go to all those countries, similar to our lovely winner, Luciana Fuster from Peru. She went to like more than 10 countries, and she spread the message of MGI. And that is exactly what she should be doing. But instead, she's complaining and moaning, saying, I was not getting enough payment. 1,000 is not enough for me to travel to those places. But we have to keep in mind, it's a business. And like you said, if you sign a contract, you need to read the terms and conditions. If you agreed to it, you sign the contract. If not, don't do it. Give it to the runner-up. But you actually did it. So you cannot complain now. That's all.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, this is the question that I have. Oh, go ahead, Noemi.
You can negotiate your terms after the fact. Once you give up your crown and you want to do your own thing, then you're your own boss. You're in your own agency. You could do whatever you want. You can have your mom, your dad be your manager, whatever. But under MGI, the contract that you signed, literally it states it there. And that has been in the contract since 2013, since it started. So that has not changed. So that has always been there, and either you accept it or you don't accept it. But you can't come in and negotiate a contract after you signed it and say, my value is this. No, mama, your value is not that, because you cannot negotiate after you sign a contract.
Thank you. Yeah. And also,
But
I just wanted to add
think
about the job, if that's okay. So I know she said that she was not working during the time in India. So we found out she was actually working for different companies without authorization, working without telling the MGI company that she was actually getting jobs and getting paid for those paid work without telling MGI, which is breaking the contract terms and conditions, because you have to get the permission of MGI in order to get any jobs. So
Yes.
when she said I was not getting any jobs, she was lying, because she was getting jobs, paid jobs in India. So that is
Yeah,
technically
that was number 3. That was number 3 on the chronological summary of MGI.
where she actually used
you can't be your own boss.
Yeah.
You can't. You cannot step out of the contract being Miss Grand International. You can't negotiate that. That is, again, you're breaking the contract. And obviously, now what is going to be pissed off? Obviously, Teresa is going to be pissed off because you're breaking the contract. You are using, listen, the title is Nawat. Nawat is Miss Grand International. Not Rachel, not the other girls. It's Miss Grand International. He owns the pageant. He owns the company. He owns the title. Okay, so you have the title. You are representing the company. You cannot step out of bounds and start going off to different, jobs, getting paid under the table, because then see now what is not getting obviously a percentage off of that negotiation, because he didn't negotiate it.
Exactly.
So that's money that you're losing.
Do we know what kind of jobs did she get? Did she work?
Was it modeling?
It was modeling gigs. I saw some fashion show photos, which she wanted people to delete them. So I saw some pageant pages posting them, but she told them to delete them. So, that sounds a bit shady. If you have done some jobs without getting permission from the international organization, but if someone posted it and you tell them to delete it, it looks really shady, don't you think? That as an international queen, I think you have to be quite clear and transparent regarding any jobs you're doing and let the people know, because they paid you for the job, so you should promote them.
I do it myself with my girls. The contract, it states it. If they want to use you and use your title, I don't have a problem, but they need to contact me directly, and I negotiate and I see if it is worthy of you going over there with your title to promote or model or do whatever it is that they want. But I need to negotiate it. You can't negotiate it because that title, again, I own it.
Yeah.
The girls don't own it.
And then if you approve that job, of course, you deserve a certain percentage, a certain cut.
Of course, yes.
Because you built that model.
Yes, exactly. And that was another thing.
That is the reason I said that both sides have things to explain. They are throwing some truth, some no supported information. There's so many things that we can continue saying, the allegations, the sexual harassment and things like that, that we said that at the beginning. That happens in some pageants and that were not addressed. But my point is this, if you switch to the one and only, just stick with what you have. If you know that you're going to choose a winner, the national directors need to make sure that each contender has their password and access to get the visas right away. Because Rachel said that she got one of the visas within 6 days and things like that. Like she said in the video, she said it, I will try to be as verbatim. She said that, I know India passport doesn't have too much weight internationally, but I was able to get my visas for Canada, USA, and she mentioned other countries. But this is the thing, again, if you are the PR for the organization, and I'm going to use Noemi as an example because I work with her and I work with other organizations. But one of the things that Noemi do is this. You need to have your passport ready before you sign to compete or start training with us. Number 2, this is an event. Do you have access to this? You need to get a visa. Again, organizations that are big, in order to start scheduling travels, they need to make sure that the queen has the paperwork set beforehand. She won. She's from India. So it's like, okay, we know we have an international queen. Her passport is for India. how soon we can start getting visas for her to start working and traveling right away? What is going to be the time span? And if she cannot promote like Miss Universe do, if the winner cannot go here because of the visa, let's send the first runner up or whoever is left in this court, because this is something else. Only 2 of them are left in the freaking top finalist court left that are not being dethroned or kicked out. That is Philippines and Brazil, I believe. So whoever
Actually,
is in that
France
top
is
5,
also not dethroned yet. So it's only 3 left. France is also still there.
So
Yes.
France is back. Okay,
France was
awesome,
never
because I love
dethroned.
France.
She was never dethroned. No.
Okay, sorry, my bad. I mean, I never had a problem with France. I like her. She's amazing.
I like her
Okay,
too. We all love her.
Going back to my saying, how many times we have pageants that because of visa, the winner cannot travel or because she is sick, and they send the first runner up or somebody within the court. So let's do that. You know, makes no sense for me that you are an international organization and you're going to hire somebody from X country, which if they got hired, because we all know that the final decision is Teresa and Nawat. We all know that. So if you know that you want India from the get-go, get everything ready. Okay, we want her to go to Timbuktu. She needs this visa. We need to submit the requirements right now that she has the visa to work. Again, there's so much going on around it. I am not saying that MGI is at fault 100% or Rachel is at fault 100%. There's people in the midst that my opinion is that they're part of the problem, but only the people that are, publicly there, their faces are the one attacked. I think there's some people maybe behind Rachel that are guilty for what is going on to her. And of course, we know how now what is, but there's some people that need to do a better job within the MGI organization. You need to know how to delegate. You want to run a business, run it to be the best of the best and not the mockery. You need to literally like, hey, this is what I need to do from my end, and you guys need to do this from my end to work cohesive as a team. Mm-hmm. An organization an organization that is not organized and support their employers will not succeed. And a good employee will not be able, and an organization cannot succeed with bad employers. So everything needs to be balanced. We all know that now what makes the final decision is not a secret.
Right.
Idiot. So if you're going to hire a queen, get everything set for that queen to start working from the beginning and make money the rightful way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I don't know who this person is. His name is Josh Serralde. He's been like posting crazy stuff, like really horrible, offensive stuff. Josh, I don't know I think you're a troll, okay? Calling Wilfredo stupid, and then Rachel got all of her needed visas ahead of time. She worked on it ahead of time. How do you know that? Are you like a friend of Rachel? How do you know that? Show us proof.
That's her family, because her family is quite supportive of like helping her do all this dialogue. By the way, I do want to talk about the family, if that's okay. So I think you saw, number 1 was regarding the Nana Hospital, which is one of the main sponsors for the Miss Grand International Organization. So one of the reasons Nawat was quite upset is because the Korean plastic surgery cosmetic hospital contact MGI regarding the enhancement already done to Rachel, her mother, and her sister. So they went for nose job and some of the body modification. First of all, Nawat is not against plastic surgery, which I know a lot of the Indian fans are quite upset saying, oh, you're body shaming Rachel for getting some breast enhancement. He is not against plastic surgery. He is upset because they went once again against telling the MGI organization that they went to South Korea, without telling and getting the permission and getting it all done. Then after, actually one of the part of the agreement was you have to post it on social media. So you have to give a review saying the Nana Cosmetic or the Nana Hospital has done tremendously well job. It is professional. Just write nice reviews so we can attract more Indian customers to visit this cosmetic surgery. But after they got it done, the cosmetic enhancement, they completely deleted all the photos, all the reviews. There was no post on social media. So it looks like a scam, because if you get it for free cosmetic surgery, we have to give something back, right? It's a business still for these Korean people. They're running a business. So for me, I think that was also one of the reasons that triggered, is that you went against their will to Korea to do all of this, and you did not even post anything to promote one of the main sponsors of MGI. So I think that is also something we have to remember. The family is not being.
Question. When the mother and the sister got their procedures done, who ended up paying that bill?
No one paid it. It was completely free.
It was completely free.
Completely
It was completely free. So they got a freebie from a sponsor from MGI.
Yes.
Oh my God, I would die. I would freaking murder her. I will get the implants back. Okay.
So, like I said, so it was free, right? Like it was, I think, more than 3 surgeries with 3 people done for free. And the agreement was we have to post on social media, which
I saw that when it happened.
Yeah. Well, no, she changed her mind. Rachel changed her mind of getting surgery, correct?
So that is a scam. Like if people are doing for free,
she had her breast done.
You need to promote.
This was before. This was already after she won Miss Grand. She went to Nana.
Yes.
Did you have further surgery when she went to Nana surgery? No. But I think I read somewhere that she changed her mind. It was only her sister and her mother who got something done.
But she had breast implants from
Nana. It was all 3 of them. 3 people. All 3.
Okay.
Rachel, mother, and sister. All of them got it done.
So they got free services on the condition that they would do a good review.
They have to promote, review and promote it on their social media, which didn't, they did not go according to the
So they basically scammed their way to Nana surgery, so to speak. Okay.
Yeah. But they got a freebie out of Nawat's contact, because that's Nawat's contact.
Yep. That's why he's upset.
That's incredible. That's so disrespectful.
So that is what I wanted to ask, like that if they pay or they was
they did not pay anything.
No, it was free.
Contract. I mean, and that's the part that is kind of like, come on. I mean,
how do you feel as, let's say, you're running a business, right? You have a cosmetic surgery. Doing a plastic surgery takes a lot of money, a lot of resources. Yes. Not one person, it was 3 people. And
they did not sponsors for the pageant, not for the family members. Period.
Correct.
That is a prize for the queen. That is not
for queen. It's not the prize for the whole
your family. And if the family wanted anything to be done, they should have paid, separately their own procedures. I'm sure they could have gotten a discount at least. But regardless, I mean, not that I oppose. I mean, you do whatever you want to do, girl. If you want to get a nose done,
it's fine. Do it.
It's fine. I'm all about that. Believe me. But
she didn't even need the boob surgery because she had already
won. She really didn't need it. But if she wanted to get it done because she felt better,
then she had to pay for it herself.
Yeah.
So then, exactly.
Now, can we talk about her when she was in that house all by herself? She complained about her phone that did not have a SIM card.
That's a lie. That's a lie, because what MJ organization team gave her a SIM card, which I think Rafa knows about this.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Champ's Instagram. Champ is Nawat's right-hand man. He does all the provincial hosting of the provincial shows and whatnot.
They get a SIM card, all the queens.
He posted all that stuff on his Instagram, and one of them was about the SIM card issue, and that they actually purchased a new SIM card for her to use. So her complaint that she couldn't use her phone because there was no SIM card was baseless. And then, of course, the whole issue of food, she said that she had to eat no food at all, even though she constantly ordered vegan food and ordered good and expensive food. But she chose to say that she, quote, don't want to eat because she prefers her mom's home cooked meal or something like that. So yeah, there's a lot of inconsistencies in her claims. So this is the problem. If you have all these people denying or debunking her allegations, her claims, and she's only the one person who's making all these allegations, and you have her supporters who support her, yet they're not even the least curious about asking her about proof or evidence.
People don't care about that anymore.
They don't care because they feel okay, well, we love Rachel because she gave India the first Miss Grand International crown. We're so proud of her and everything. But see, all these people who are so obsessed with her, do you actually think that she cares about you?
No.
She don't even
Can I
know
add
that you're
something to
alive.
that? Can I add
She
something to
doesn't
that?
care.
So this is in the MGI group. So Rachel went to the Givenchy, the designer brand, to get the sunglasses, and they promised this store in the Givenchy the store that she will promote the sunglasses on her social media. Once again, she
Yeah.
failed to live up to the promise, and she did not post any of that. She got it for free, and also some other products from Givenchy. So
Mhm.
once again, this is kind of consistently failing to live up to the promise of posting on social media and getting freebies, which is again kind of makes MGI look like a bad organization because she did this
Exactly.
on her own.
Mhm.
Yeah. Also about Nana Hospital, Champ says, I was left at the hospital. I didn't go as scheduled. This is what, she claims, claiming that the airline postponed the flight, but via the hospital investigation, the flight was still went on as scheduled. So she lied about the plane, her flight being canceled. So she was like able to go to the hospital. Little things like that that really like very, 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 very disturbing. And it makes you wonder, you have this beautiful young woman, but she's not mentally balanced. She's not emotionally balanced. She's not very well. Okay. I mean, how else can you possibly describe her mental state? And then also another thing that irks me is that once she posted her announcement of resignation, immediately you have the slew of all these pageant vloggers who posted stuff defending her without knowing the full background of the
Exactly.
story. And they're raking up all these views on their YouTube channels because they keep defending her. And you have all these idiots, believing every word that she says, uh, it's just so crazy. It's just insane. You know. What else can we talk about? Okay. That ticket thing that Kyla Versosa was complaining about that
Yeah.
she messaged Nawat saying that her phone number kept blowing up from all these anonymous annoying calls because apparently that flight ticket to Guatemala was it Spain? It was a flight ticket to Spain, wasn't it? Or
I believe
and
so.
one of those
Yeah.
flight
Just
tickets.
Spain. Just Spain because the email
It's
says
Spain
Miss.
because it says Miss Grand Spain, in the
Yeah,
bottom.
Mhm.
yeah.
But somebody noticed that Rachel's birth date says 1995, the year, which would make her 30 years old rather than 21 or 22, whatever. And then it has like a funny sounding email address, like Rachel's smelly armpit or something like that. And then
Yes.
it was a very dubious, email. So
Yeah.
people started suspecting, okay, wait a minute, that ticket doesn't look legitimate, okay? It doesn't look valid, okay? And then George, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the Miss Grand Spain organization who actually issued that ticket under Rachel's
Mhm.
name. And
Yes.
then the ticket is actually legitimate. It's still on
It is
on the airline's website. Even though the personal information is erroneous, the
Yes.
ticket is valid. It does
It is valid.
exist on
Yeah.
the
So we checked it
airlines.
on the is it Lufthansa, I think it's German company, airlines company. If you just put the
Lufthansa.
code,
Yeah.
the code and I think last name Gupta, it's there. So it's a real ticket, and it was purchased by the Miss Grand Spain organization, not the MGI. So I know a lot of people are saying it's not what's fault, it's MGI fault. It was actually done by the national director of Spain.
All
So
right. So basically, Kyla Versosa was getting all these annoying phone calls, and Noat eventually did apologize
it is.
to Kylie. Okay.
Mhm.
And I don't know if Kylie ended up changing her phone number or using
Poor thing.
a caller ID to block annoying phone calls, etc. But eventually though, you don't have, I don't know whose idea was it to post personal information online.
I think they just posted it and forgot to kind of like block
I
out the
think so.
personal
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think they just went with the emotion and just posted it without blocking that. And then that, and that debacle happened. But I feel bad. I feel bad, in the
Yeah.
sense that, these national directors, it's not easy building and doing a production, and then you have this extra money that you're going to invest to bring the queen to add more value to your production, and then this happens. I mean, this is the sad part.
Lanka, okay, you crazy Indian fans who are in love, obsessed with your girl, Rachel. Lanka says, no, she doesn't care about her Indian fans. She mocked them. Lanka, I can't wait to interview you one-on-one so you can spill all the beans, okay? So you can say whatever you want. Thanks, Lanka. We'll look for photos then. You and she join them in live. Yeah, eventually she will come. Can we talk about, okay, what else? Oh, the $1,000 that Rachel claimed that somebody stole from her while she was at that house. What's up with that? That was also
It was in
debunked.
Nawat's house, was
It was
it?
debunked. Yeah, it was
No,
already debunked, correct? By Champ.
It was debunked.
Well,
Yeah, it
Yes.
was debunked. He
Yeah.
said that she
Yeah,
put the money
she-
in a suitcase and a maid stole it. That was the claim that she made.
That was
It was
her
a-
claim, but there's no proof.
Mhm.
There's no proof. Yeah.
There was no proof.
It was
And also,
CCTV
and yeah,
everywhere, so like, yeah, no way
and
to
then
prove it.
but then on her truth video, she became so hysterical and so emotional that she notified Teresa, and Teresa said, okay, we'll take care of it. And then she waited for a month for a resolution, still no resolution. And then she said that Teresa yelled at her, telling her, well, that's your problem because you didn't lock your suitcase, etc. So that's why your money got lost. Like stuff like that. Okay. So I don't know, it's really hard to really believe what she was saying because she was so over dramatic. And then I finally got sick and tired of all her hysteria that I posted in my Instagram stories, a photo of a crocodile with crocodile tears.
Also,
And of
one thing I
course-
want to talk about
Of
is
course,
that
I
you know
immediately got attacked for that. Okay.
we see a lot, like time and again. This is not the first time seeing a pretty girl wearing a white t-shirt, sitting in front of the bed and crying her hearts out. We have seen this time and again with so many influencers do this every time, right? Just because they look sad and they are crying, it does not mean it's true. I think we have to be very mindful of how we respond to these contents we see in online. Everything we see on social media does not mean it's true. Just because someone is crying and saying, oh, look, someone stole money from me, or like I've been mistreated, we still need to listen to both sides of the story because it's very one-sided. If you only listen to one person and you make a quick judgment, which is exactly what I see a lot of the YouTube content creators already reacting to Rachel's video without listening to the other side of the story. So that's all I have to say because it feels very like irrational. Right?
Yeah, she was
Mhm.
essentially appealing to your emotions, to our emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, like "Whoa, whoa, whoa, this is what happened. Blah, 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 blah." Okay, girl, stop. All right, I've seen that before. I've seen that act
I've seen this so many times, and it has come to the truth. A lot of these influencers were liars. They were scammers. They did like pyramid scheme.
Exactly.
There were so many people who became criminals after that we found out. So just because someone is crying, it does not mean they're telling the truth. That's exactly like I've been saying this since the video came out, and I've been getting bashed online just for speaking the truth. And it is so sad that we still live in a world where people are just so rational. We make such quick judgment, but we don't listen to the other side of the story.
Point number 4 from MGI's official announcement. She demanded payment owed from December, even though she had previously traveled to Bangkok. She refused to receive cash and insisted on a bank transfer to her account in India. While the organization was willing to comply, we required the necessary documents and asked her to pay the legally required international transfer fees, which she refused. She also resisted the mandatory 15% Thai income tax deduction, creating ongoing disputes over payments.
That you know what? Regardless what country you're staying at, you have to pay taxes regardless. It's you can't get away from it. It is just the law. It's same thing here in the United States. If you win a grand prize and it's cash money, you have to pay taxes on it. Okay. Same as in Thailand, you have to pay taxes. This is not new. This is the law, period.
Yeah. And not just
Same
that,
if I was
also
in
It
India.
applies to everybody, to all foreigners. That's the
Everybody.
law.
everyone.
Everybody, yeah, you have
And
to pay
also
something.
all the girls, 9 of the girls from the top 10 did pay the taxes because they also received the cash money, the prizes. So
Mhm.
the only one who did not pay the tax in Thailand was Rachel. So you cannot get a special treatment just because you won the title does not give you the entitlement to not pay the tax, right? Because everyone is paying taxes. So you're not special out of the top 10 because everyone paid except one person.
Well,
Mhm.
wait, when you think of that, though, I mean, her father is a successful businessman in India. They have a lot of money. They're very rich. I would think that her father would have at least educated her about business, like simple, basic business issues,
I don't
like
think so.
paying taxes. You know what I mean? Like income tax, property tax,
No, I
sales
don't think
tax,
so.
and all.
No, you know
Has she ever
why?
really had a real job in her life besides modeling? Because anybody can model these days, okay? But I'm talking about like real 9 to 5 type of job where you actually pay taxes. Okay. Has she ever
I don't
had
think
any of
so. I don't
those?
think so because in that culture, it's very much of the man is the one that takes care of the woman type of deal. So
Ah,
I don't
okay.
think that,
It's a
you
cultural thing.
know, it's a cultural thing.
Okay.
It's a much more of a cultural thing in that aspect. You know, you're the woman, you're the
Which
girl,
is
there's,
sad. Yeah, really.
that
That is really,
princess,
really sad. That
and
is
that's
really, really
sad.
But
sad.
for me, is another thing is like again with everything coming out to life from both sides as a organization owner, why? And again, you know, I'm happy with her winning and everything, but let's be objective in this one. If you as a director know that your queen is doing things that is violating a contract, why to wait? Why to wait 7 months?
Yeah. Good question.
No, that is
Yes.
the reason I still analyzing on both sides. I don't care how many screenshots or receipts you can prove. There's things in there that I'm not adding through the whole story. Because if you are my employer, I mean the first red flag is if my candidate go to one of my sponsors to ask for stuff for their family members and they reach out to me, I am not losing that sponsor just because you want to take advantage through that sponsor to dress or have freebies for the whole freaking family. If that you know that is a red flag. You don't do that. Doesn't matter which organization you compete, you don't use the sponsors for your own benefits or claim things for your family. The sponsors are going to give the prizes to you because you're the winner. Your family didn't compete on stage, they were not crowned. This is
Exactly.
a job.
Yeah.
So again, it's 7 months of a lot of things that I'm sorry, but with the history of Nawat kicking people out from left to right without blinking twice, why waiting 7 months?
Yeah.
He saw the red flag already. I mean, for me, based on my pageant knowledge and working with different
Oh, I think I have an
organizations,
answer to that. I have an answer. I have an answer.
that is a break of
So,
contract.
okay, I
You
think
could
the
have been
breaking
disowned.
point. I think the breaking point was when Rachel, alongside Nikhil and the Miss Universe India organization, they all went to Cannes Film Festival,
Hands.
which was
Mhm.
like I think 2 weeks ago. I think that was the breaking point because I don't know if you saw the photos, but when
Yes.
the official MGI posted, they removed Nikhil from the background because in reality he was actually there in person.
Oh, so they
Mhm.
So I think that
photoshopped it. Okay.
they
Yeah.
photoshopped him out of the photo, but I think that was a breaking point because we know this been 2 months into her reign that there was an official announcement that Nico is not working with MGI and preferably Rachel works with the new organization. But her to go back to the old organization, not just that, she even went traveled to France to this red carpet event, paid by, I'm pretty sure it was done by Nico, it was not done by MGI. So I think that kind of breaking that trust that they have, Nawat has already said that months ago only for her to go back to the old organization. It kind of feels like, like going back to your ex boyfriend almost like the breaking trust. And I think that was the breaking point for Nawat. And that was really recently. It was about 2 weeks ago, and that's when
Mhm.
this
Well,
Yeah,
guy
but
happened.
I also heard
you
that
waited too long for that. This is a job.
it was
There's so much into the mess just to wait for a breaking point. I mean, in my opinion, because he's very vocal about firing other directors. He keep people from left to right without blinking twice. So again, why you waited 7 months? Why you waited for so long to make an official announcement about firing her or her resigning, either or, just to get the attention? It is because things doesn't went through from both sides, or this is just something to try to take the moment of Miss World because it's going right now. They've been doing great with everything going on. I mean, you can think a lot of things. Again, you can think a lot of things because it's happening the same week that is the final for Miss World. You can think anything.
But not actually like Miss World. He was a director for Miss World Thailand, and he has very good relationship with Julia Morley. So I don't think it's. I think it just happened coincidentally. Yeah,
it's just a business. It's too much going on, and something is not adding up. Why to waiting for someone with so many red flags happening from the beginning? I think something more deep happened there that doesn't only involve Rachel, involve the people that was with her, and I think this is the battle of power. Who have the larger person? Who has shoot more? Who's
but
the man
organization will always win because they're the ones that own the title. The queen.
Yeah, they're gonna
regardless.
Always win.
The organization will always win, regardless.
Well, and that's true. They're always gonna win. It's just
regardless whether you like it or not, whether you like Nawat, whether you like Teresa. All these people are like, talking mad, stupid crap about the organization that, this, that, they treat their queens bad. But if that was the case, don't you think other queens would have said something? I don't see anybody else.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
I saw a video. I saw a video of Miss Grand Uganda 2022 defending Rachel and basically supporting Rachel's claims that the organization, is a little crazy, a little corrupt and whatnot. I mean, she was very
it a Miss Grand Queen?
Miss Grand,
but she was not the
2020.
she was not
I don't know if she plays, but
I don't think she plays.
Oh, but I'm talking about Miss Grand, like title holder.
MGI, yeah,
MGI title holder.
Okay.
That's what I mean. I mean, I'm not talking about the contestants, because the contestants, whatever. But I'm talking about the queens like Janely, Liz, Valentina, Carla, all these other girls that.
Ariska from Indonesia did make an official story regarding this issue. She said that she was treated really well. Everyone was professional. She had a great 1-year reign, and even now, after more than 9 years since she won in 2016, she still has a good relationship with MGI, Madam Teresa. So if all the previous winners have not come forward and talked anything bad about it, and if it's only one winner, and I know there's also 2015, but if only 2 of them have come forward and talked bad about the organization, it's hard to believe those 2 people.
Exactly. That's what I say. Lee's experience, again, it was her own experience. Different than Rachel, the whole 9 yards. One thing that I saw one thing that I kind of took back was when she was saying, nobody told me, nobody warned me. Nobody's going to warn you of anything. You got to figure it out on your own, like everybody else in their year. It is what it is. So this thing of nobody warned me, what are they going to warn you about? The fact that it's a job and no one tells you.
Well, she didn't do her research, and
I didn't do it.
You did the research. What is this behind me? Clearly, that's a research.
Well, that's Melvin's research. It's not her research.
But still, she works with those people. And also, I want to talk about the selling part. I think Rafa sent me a clip. In the video, Rachel said that she was forced into selling all these products live on TikTok. But the day she was selling, when they achieved the target goal, I think it was 200,000. I forgot the exact amount. After
they got a bonus.
Yeah, they got extra bonus. And you know what? When Nawat told her to go back to the hotel because it's done for the day, she said, no, you know what, Papa Nawat, I want to stay more. Can I stay an hour extra and do this live TikTok selling? So if they were forcing her, why would she say that she wants to stay extra time when the goal was already achieved?
So she can sell more and get more commission. more sales commission.
Mhm.
Yes, to make more money. But the fact that, you know, what I felt very funny was that when she criticized the products, calling them cheap and poorly made, and she also felt sorry for the people who are actually buying these products. They're wasting their money, you know, to buy these cheap, tacky products that included, by the way, to a toilet paper, fish paste, you know, all the other, you know.
Did you hear the comments about the toilet paper though?
No, no, fill us in, please.
There were, I can't say because I'm gonna get crucified. I'm gonna get crucified. I'll tell you later. I'll text
DM
you.
Noemi, too late. We already been crucified. We are part of the four popes, and you're one of the nuns. Just go for it and say it.
Lenka said, Lenka said, but I did tell her. Lenka said, I did tell Rachel about what to expect from the pageant. So
she knew good.
But see, you're told, but then this is the thing with these girls. You are being told, but then it like enters here and it comes out here, and they don't like, they're still in their little bubble world, you know, and think everything is all, you know, rainbows and unicorns. But at the end of the day, it's work. It's just like any other work.
This is a job, and at the end of the day, and I'm gonna say something. Yes, I defend Rachel to certain things, but I feel offended for what she said about the type products, because I'm a fan of BL TV series from Thailand and how they market and how they create products. Of course, I don't live in Thailand, people. Hopefully, I go there to be with George, and he's gonna be my tour guide. But all the things that I see that they manufacture, all the things that they create, you know, and the sponsors in this boil of stories in Thailand, they look pretty good. And you cannot degrade a product just because. I find it offensive. A beauty queen selling soy sauce. But saying that, saying that a country's product made of living that is promoting part of the economy and the things that they do, I am sorry that is degrading, because it's like saying that certain products from India, Philippines, Puerto Rico, etc., are low budget, don't use it. I'm sorry, but you see products from Asia, period, that people use all around the world. Doesn't matter where it's coming from. You know, it's coming from a raw source. Doesn't need to come from a Versace, Gucci, Givenchy company to put it in nice packaging. You know, there's people that depends on it, and that part, I need to say that I got mad about it. You don't need to criticize, say that a product is cheap. They are not selling a skincare product from Provence. They're not selling Gucci, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana. They're selling a product that is made from organic sources to put in the kitchen to cook.
Yeah, basic household stuff.
You know, my stomach,
it's another way of income that comes into the company.
Yeah. My stomach is not gonna be like, oh hell no, this is not Gucci product. This is Walmart. No, hell no, I'm not eating this. My stomach is gonna be like, I don't care the label. I'm hungry. Let's do this together.
And
you know, that is disrespectful.
I also want to say that, you know, she was complaining a lot about selling products and also quality of the products. But where do you think the money comes from to give this incredible production that we, the fans, love watching every year? It comes from TikTok live stream. All the money that
the production does not pay itself. Okay,
exactly.
You need income. You need money, and you have to take advantage of every possible venue to make money. And if it means selling cheap and tacky products, it's the only way to go. You know, it's better. It's better than selling your body
in Temu.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Rafa's favorite place to purchase,
which your president decided to put more taxes on. FYI, just saying.
Oh, okay, we going there. So hold on. Well, Rafa, Noemi is gonna be banned.
Thank you for the tariffs, okay?
Noemi, you are gonna be banned like Tatiana, 56 months out of Critical Beauty Live. No, and another thing is like, I want to say this, I am so sorry because things coming into my brain, is like, for example, in the nationals from Miss Grand Thailand, I think was last year, I was watching a lot of stuff that they pair with this company making stuff, you know, soy sauce and whatever. There, I applaud because it's part of the sponsorship. I, there, okay, go for it. But when you're talking about international title holder, they need to be promoting the sponsors that are giving money into the picture. Why are they not so Rachel promoting the sponsors for the pageant? Again, a lot of red flags that they waited 7 months. Because I can guarantee you right now, if Noemi Melendez was the director of Miss Grand and she received a phone call, hey girl, this girl wants herself and the family and the dog and the poodle to get surgery. 5 seconds later, Luis, come in the picture. What happened? Just come in the call. Hey, you cannot do this. You are going to be replaced. This is the statement. Noemi will not wait 7 months. This is a business. Just saying.
Exactly. Okay, can we talk about her claim that when she went to the Czech Republic to attend the Miss Grand Czech Republic coronation, that she had witnessed Teresa yelling at the Czech national director and telling the director that they had crowned the wrong winner. Can we talk about that?
And she was and I saw what the national director for Czech Republic posted.
Yes,
basically
me too.
saying, no, that was not correct.
She denied everything.
Teresa, let me tell you something. I know Teresa. I've never heard her raise her voice to anyone. And I've seen her upset, but she has never raised her voice to anyone. She'll talk to you stern, yes, you know, to get her point across and stuff, but like anybody else, but she's cool, calm, and collective. She is not a person to be yelling and throwing, you know, a whole fit. That's not What's job, you know, that's more not What's style. Okay.
That's his style.
All right. Teresa is more calm, cool, and collective. So that I could tell for a fact that once when she said no, because she was screaming at her, and I was like, okay, from the years that I've known her, I've never heard her scream or raise a voice. And believe me, a national director would have immediately put her in her place if that shit would, because you know very well that she wasn't going to sit there and take it and then start crying. That was another thing that it made her cry, and she was, what national director is going to sit there and take that and start crying? No one. And what?
Also,
and why was she there in that conversation?
Also, Tatiana said in the statement that Rachel was seated in a completely different place. It was not on the same table. So how did you hear the conversation from a distance?
Yeah. So she was obviously, she has a very rich imagination. She was imagining things in her head. So this is what Mama Teresa said. She's really a nasty woman, and the show was horrible. But then Teresa said that the production was amazing. It was a great show. And
they do good shows.
And they crowned the right girl, you know.
Yeah, and they've been doing, let me tell you, Czech Republic has been trying to get that crown for quite a while already.
Oh, yeah.
They've been sending really, really good delegates.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you could tell that they've really invested in each. What I love is that they crown as per every system is looking for.
Yes.
You know,
exactly.
with World, they did it. Within, you know, now that I think they have international, with Grand, they've been doing it nonstop, and their girls have been qualifying. They have been doing really, really well. So I'm sorry, I do not believe, you know, obviously when she said I didn't believe it. And then when, you know, Czech Republic needed to put that statement out there, because I'm sure that, you know, she got bombarded by so many people asking her what happened here, you know, and you cannot be using somebody else's name that way. You cannot,
without the receipt.
Director.
Exactly. No evidence.
You have
it's just
no right to be talking.
Yeah.
No right. And then she brings in Anea into the, you know, into the conversation and saying, you know, the situation with Anea. I know a lot what happened that year. I'm not going to say it here because that's a whole different conversation. because I was at the pageant and there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And then when she won, I could tell you, you could ask our friends from the Netherlands. We were all sitting together after the pageant, and when they crowned Anea, I said, she will not last a year with this title. I said it.
Can I add something to the one of the accusation done by Anea, right? She says she went to South Sudan, I think by herself without the organization. That is not true because Madam Teresa
that's not
did
true.
go to South Sudan. She had assistance. She had chaperone with her to go to other countries. So that is a lie, which a lot of pages have said that, oh, she had to travel alone. She's a young girl going to Africa. That is not true. She went with the organization, especially Madam Teresa.
Not true. That is not true. For South Sudan, because Lee's also went to South Sudan. She went with Nawat. They went to the campsites and they did,
I remember that
work and all that stuff.
Was it like Iraq or Kurdistan? That area
it was kind of like a border city right there.
Yeah, Kurdistan.
So that is incorrect. I'm sorry. Now, the fact that she said, oh, that when she got to the hotel, the hotel manager made a remark or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I hate to say this. Men are fresh. Okay. Straight men are fresh. All right. And if they see a young, pretty girl, they try to be, they try to be funny. They try to be smart and start, they'll make some stupid ass comment. You need to know how to handle that. Exactly. You as a woman, and she was not a child. She was a grown ass woman, need to know. But for somebody to make a remark and then you feel uncomfortable, and that's because they make a remark, it doesn't mean that it's sexual harassment. Sexual, you have to know what is sexual harassment and what is not. As a nasty comment or a stupid ass comment that a straight man tells you because she sees a cute girl, whatever. I'm not saying, because I'm a woman, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. But you as a woman need to know how to put people in their place, regardless whether you have a sash.
Yep.
You put your boundaries as a woman. It is your responsibility.
Well, no, if you're going to promote the idea of an empowered woman, it's really up to you. How do you empower yourself as a woman? Empowering is not limited strictly to what you see or what they do on social media, like bullying or whatever. It also involves what would you do in a real situation if you're sexually harassed or played by all these.
I'm not saying that it's acceptable because it's not acceptable.
It's never acceptable.
It's
sexual
never
harassment
acceptable.
is never acceptable. Catcalling is never acceptable. Young men do it all the time, especially in Latin America. In fact, Andrea Mesa, Miss Universe from Mexico, that was her advocacy, was to stop, prevent catcalling and what do you call it? Yeah, wolf whistling, which is very common in Latin America. When a beautiful Latina woman is walking the street and you see all these construction workers feeling so macho and trying to prove themselves, that
being stupid.
Being stupid, exactly. They
Esto, mami, está bien buena.
Well, not just in Latin America, but it's common all over the world.
Exactly.
Men are men, period.
Well, can I be honest on this one? Like,
unless you're a gay man, then you're very respectful of straight men. Okay.
We'll be like, hey, with all respect, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous. That's it.
And this is funny because
thing. I'm sorry, George.
I just wanted to kind of say a little bit about the catcalling part. Like, it's kind of funny that straight guys, they get so offended with us gay guys when we say like a nice comment, or you have great body, you have good butt. That's exactly the same thing, the same comments they pass to women. Isn't that kind of funny how these like heterosexual men are on the receiving end, and does it feel good to get those comments? No, right? So you should stop doing that to women. If you don't feel good getting those comments from men,
you know how many straight men love having gay friends that they boost their ego? Please shut up. They just need to grow a pair. But what I wanted to say,
but they love all the attention anyway. They love all
believe me. But one of the things that I wanted to say is, again, any woman from India, especially, I'm talking to any woman from India, any young woman, any pageant queen. If you want the best, you have the best examples when it comes to stand out for what you believe and draw the line that you are not going to be disrespectful to me. And there's two amazing pageant queens, former pageant queens, that publicly, they literally put people in the media, whoever it is, in their place. And it's Priyanka Chopra and Aishwarya Rai. They are being able to tell the media, like Aishwarya, somebody asked her something, I think in Hindi, and she said, brother, this is an interview. What's going on with you, bro? And Priyanka is being, I love her because she's been able to use her smart and her intelligent and boss lady mouth and brain to shut down the most misogynist men in the room. So if you want to learn how to put in a man in their place, you have already examples, right, from 1994 and one from the 2000, because I admire them both. And if you need some Puerto Rican spices, talk to Noemi. She just needs to give you a class.
We have one right here.
I don't need to speak. I just give them the look and they know that I mean business.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
that evil look.
Yeah.
There's so many things that she said about now what is all about money. This is a business, is nothing new. We have said it for years. And now what is all about money? Who's gonna put money in the business because they need to grow? Both sides have things that are not out of the light. Rachel is a beautiful woman. She won. Now things are coming out. Don't blame us. We're just passing the information and we're giving our own opinions. We have nothing to do with Rachel either resigning or being dethroned. And her or her team or her family actions allegedly are what happens. Because this is something that is coming out and about. But if you as a title holder or as an organization are going to start, saying things, bashing each other, that is not good. Hopefully things get better. Hopefully everybody welcomes CJ in a positive light, because this is another thing. She did her job in a short period of time. If she would have had a year to prepare, she would have been the real winner. She would have snatched that crown. And I'm
also, I want to give.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I also want to give the flowers to CJ, despite being her first runner-up. I don't know if you have followed her on Instagram. She has an incredible work spreading the message of Miss Grand International and Miss Grand Philippines in the country, going to provinces, to villages, cities, everywhere throughout the 5,000 whatever islands you have in the Philippines, traveling for boat, air, land, everywhere. She has an incredible job, and that's still being a first runner-up, which is something Rachel was not able to do that in her home country. So also, I think.
Don't you just
we should give her flowers?
Don't you just hate it when people say, "Oh, first runner up," that's just like a giveaway crown?
No,
it's
she
not.
has worked hard for it, so we should give her flowers that she deserves. This is her moment, so we should
isn't it in the
award her.
If the winner cannot fulfill her duties, what happens?
Exactly.
The first runner up.
The first runner up gets it. That's it.
I'll be honest with you. This is something that is, and again, this is something that, thanks to the support of the organization working hand in hand with their current winner, they can accomplish things. There's a lot of international queens that they are most of them rightful winners for their job, but the relationship with that organization doesn't work. But finalists or people that didn't even make it the top have a good relationship with their national organizations. They can continue their job. That is the reason I said, in the beginning, your relationship and prices and everything that you get on a national level has nothing to do how it's going to be your experience on an international level. And we're talking about the Philippines. That's one of the things about the Philippines. They are pageant forward. They support their queens. Doesn't matter if they are not the most objectively beautiful or the best queen ever. They're going to support their queens that hardcore no matter what. But one thing they have that some Latin countries has too, Philippines is one of those Asian countries that when it comes to work with their society, with their community, they are pretty good about it. So I am not surprised that CJ it's been able to do a great job as a first runner-up. We have
Yes.
our winner, Miss International America, the first one for Cuba on the Miss International organizations under Noemi last year, and she's still promoting the title until the time is up. We have some girls that they didn't even make it, but they continue working hard for their organizations even after they pass the title. Because again, your job is not about, and this is something that she said, but the job is not about winning the sash and crown. Your job is more than just a sash and a crown. You know, in 2018, we saw Tatiana winning in the middle of the COVID. But look at Miss Vietnam. That girl is one of the most successful top 5 ever. Kiara Liz in America from Puerto Rico is being successful compared to other queens that were in the top 5. You know, non-winners did an amazing job, like Puerto Rico and Venezuela at that time. And you can see other girls like Carla Gilpul, Miss Universe Puerto Rico, first runner up in Miss Supranational. Her advocacy is booming and continue booming. You know, even if she didn't win Miss Universe, you know, let's be honest, it's all about the contestant, the winner and the organization how they work. And CJ, she wasn't the real winner of Miss Grand. She wasn't the chosen one. We are all clear. But that she has 5 months to use this opportunity because it's the contract. She has nothing to do about it. It's not her fault. She didn't push Rachel away. She didn't tarnish her job. She continued doing her job. Now she's going to make Philippines proud as not the first Miss Grand winner, but as a Miss Grand 5 months because she's getting the crown because somebody else is no longer. So she's going to finish the job. So she will be able to use this month to show on an international look what she's been doing in the Philippines through the organization that speak volumes.
Yes.
Right.
Also, I want to add a little bit more to CJ because I don't know if you guys know this. She's a pageant coach. She does runway training and she has helped a lot of the beauty queens win international pageants like Miss Eco International, who's also from the Philippines. Three
Filipino girls that she trained won international crowns. And look what happened to her. She's going to be the fourth queen.
Yeah, so it shows that, you know, when you are part of this pageant community, when you're uplifting other women through this pageant coaching, runway training, passerella training, it shows that she has always been committed to Miss Grand International because she was indirectly promoting MGI when she is helping uplift other women going to international pageants. I think that is something we have to keep in mind when people say, oh no, it's just a throwaway or like just like a gift given to like CJ because the winner could not fulfill the duties. No, she has been doing it. It's her moment to shine. And if you guys can, please watch the live stream. I'm sure there's going to be a live stream for CJ's crowning happening next week. So please go there and support her.
June 3rd, I believe. Isn't it the
June
date?
3rd, so next week.
Yeah,
correct.
Yes.
So
please support her.
A lot of people are going to be watching it. This is an interesting comment from Seema. Any country who has more gay population support pageant. That's an interesting theory. Is it true?
I'm sorry, what again?
Pardon? Say it again.
Yeah, she said any country that has more gay population supports pageants.
Not necessarily.
I don't know if that's true. No, I don't think so. Look at,
let me see.
No.
Let me see.
No.
The Philippines is a pageant powerhouse, without doubt. It has like 115 million people.
You have Venezuela.
Are there more gay people in the Philippines than there are, let's say, China or India?
No, but here's the thing, Rafa. We don't
people.
No, there's the thing we need to keep in mind. Openly gay versus closeted gays. There are a lot of closeted DL men living in the Middle Eastern countries because I don't know if you saw, I don't know if I can say this word, Cornhub did a research. A lot of these countries, they like a woman with, something special downstairs. Attachment come from the Middle Eastern countries. So are we talking about openly gay or are we still talking about like men who still like something extra?
Extra, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't think that's true. Yeah.
That's
I don't think that's true.
That's a whole different conversation right there.
Why every time Noemi is with Rafa, George, and myself, we always ended up talking about something LGBT. The last time was about bears and stuff, and now this time is, you know what? I can't.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if it's true because there's a lot of people like that, especially in the Middle East, and they don't
Exactly.
support pageants. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's all about, it's a cultural thing. You know how many gay peoples are in United States, and they support drag queen pageants. They don't care about other pageants.
Can we talk about
That's
can,
it.
okay, can we talk about like okay, I know Noemi likes Nikhil. You spoke highly of him. I remember
Uh-huh.
that you guys get along with each other. But
Mhm.
you know, given the current circumstances about this controversy, has your opinion about him changed?
No, I think what, you know,
Because
I, you know,
because the way I see him is that he is a manipulator. He was actually the one behind all these demands, these crazy demands. So
well,
that's why there's
then
a fallout.
I don't know that, so I can't comment on that because I don't really know.
Mhm.
But I could only talk to what I know and what I lived with Lee's, you know, and her journey as Miss Grand International and our experience. That's the only thing I could say.
Okay, that's
Um,
fine. That's fair.
I really don't know. You know,
Okay.
again, I
I
don't
want
have
to know.
anything.
Okay. I want to know who paid
Mhm.
for their trip to Cannes Film Festival.
That's a good question because when I saw that, this is one thing. Remember,
Hmm.
I forward you the picture when I saw it. I forward you. I was like, did
Like
they
what?
make up and be friends or what
Yeah,
the hell? Like I was
Yeah.
because
very
they were in the same
like,
place. Now what?
yes,
Nikhil, Rachel,
exactly.
Vina,
And then
Vina.
you know, a few days later, then all this, you know,
Yeah.
ends up
I
happening.
thought that was very odd.
I thought it was very odd too, but at the same time, I was like, well, maybe he had an opportunity because I know there was a few of the other Miss India Universe was there, I think it
Yeah, Miss
was.
Universe India.
Rhea
Yeah, she was
Gupta was
there.
there.
Okay.
The
Rhea,
reigning
So
yeah.
queen. Yes.
she was
Rhea
there.
Singh,
So
sorry.
Yeah.
you know, bringing her over to Cannes because she didn't since she didn't go with Nawat because Nawat went with V and what's the girl from the
Engfa.
other girl? Eva.
Engfa.
Yeah.
Enfa, three of
Yeah.
them, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I
Oh,
know
And they
that
were
that
yeah.
really
trip,
invited. They were really
They
and
were
they
invited
were
actually
to
really
invited.
invited.
Cannes.
Yeah, they didn't pay
Right.
Exactly.
tickets for the red carpet. You know, a lot of these influencers pay tickets for only the red carpet, but they don't actually
Exactly.
go to see
Go
the
in.
film festival.
Exactly.
So, but
Exactly.
MGI, especially because Engfa is now a successful actress in Thailand, a movie
Exactly.
was featured. So
Mm-hmm.
just something to know about. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
pay
So
to red carpet, but you cannot go in. Yeah.
exactly. So that was another thing that, you know, a lot of people were saying, oh, why didn't he bring, you know, Rachel to Kansas? But again, that trip specifically had nothing to do with Miss Grant. It
No.
had more to do with the showing of the film and
Yeah.
getting a little more getting business because I know that they were sitting down with a few businessmen from Singapore to be
Yeah.
able to, you know, really promote. What's her name? Effa?
Engfa. Like
Engfa.
Engfa.
Enfa.
Eng,
Yeah.
Engfa. Okay. To promote her as, you know, as the next big star because that's,
Right.
you know, now what is basically managing her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
she's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I would okay. So another thing that Rachel made or claim on her video is that when after she won Miss Grand, she was invited to I guess either to judge or to be present doing one of these Miss Grand provincial pageants.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
she claims that
Yeah.
Nawat and Teresa made some derogatory body shaming and disgusting comments about the girls on stage. So they were basically, picking on the girls. Oh, this girl's too fat. This girl's too short. This girl needs to lose some weight, etc. So I don't know if that's true or if
Okay.
that's
I would
just,
believe that from Nawat, not from Teresa, because Nawat
yeah,
is very.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
that's his
He,
remember
style. That is Nawat's
again,
that's
style.
his style. I mean,
no filter.
No
no
filter.
filter.
Yes.
From Teresa, I would not
Mm.
believe that, but from Nawat, I believe because the current, the only, the only Miss Grand Thailand that is being still banking and work with him right now is the one that he told her allegedly, but was well known that he said either you lose weight and you do your part or you are not going to compete. She did what she needed to do. She became first runner up, and today's day, look where she's at. You know, again, now what doesn't have filter? Not what you see is what you get. And he wants a beautiful woman. People, this is a beauty pageant.
Those are his requirements. He has his ideal perception
he has
of
his
beauty.
stereotype.
Just
this
like
system,
It's the same thing with
exactly. This
Osmel.
system is not an inclusive system like Miss Universe. It's a completely different
Thank
system.
God.
Thank God. You know, so
thank you, Jesus.
but if you are a title holder, you need to continue watching your weight, because now Watt does not like women that are overweight. He says it to your face. He will tell you, you know, and not in a, and unfortunately he doesn't have the tact to tell it to you in a nice way, because he, again, no filter, everything flies out of, you know, his mouth. It's, you know, I think it has a lot to do, again, because English is not his first language. You know, if he would say it in Thai, it will come out completely opposite way. You know, completely different. But, you know, you have to maintain. Then they're like, oh, because he made me feel fat. He made me this. He made me that, blah, blah, blah. You're in a pageant. You are getting judged in a bathing suit. That is exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah, you should know what you exactly sign up for.
So this is the thing. I don't know why people are crying, because we have the masters of body shaming from decades that put Venezuela in the mud. Osmel Sosa, until today's day, he will be like, oh girl, you're fat. Ask Alicia Machado. He was the first one to body shame girls because he knew, as a he had a degree in arts. He wanted to scope. He wanted to mold that beautiful body and aesthetic to perfection, to create a queen, to make her art, put her on stage, because that's what it sells. It's a beauty pageant. You are not going to compete for Harvard. We want somebody that have a beautiful body, balanced beauty, a good communicator, and that takes care of herself. Period.
Can I add something?
This is not Miss Charity. Go ahead.
So I know that Rachel said that she gained weight during her stay in Thailand, but that kind of contradicts what she said right at the start when she said she could not get any food because the food delivery guy took 2 hours to arrive and he canceled midway because it was so far away. So which is true? Did he get the food? How did he gain it without eating? Well, that's what she said.
Exactly.
Yeah, how did he gain weight if he didn't eat so much food? Like, so it doesn't make sense, because I want to believe you, but the claims you're making are so unrealistic. And also, like, body shaming, we know what, right? Like what, like you guys already mentioned, no one has a standard. If you do not fit in the standard, I'm sorry, you're not MGI.
Okay, so this is what I don't understand. Okay, what is the difference between Nawat's own beauty standard as opposed to, let's say, Wilhelmina Modeling Agency or Ford Modeling Agency, where they demand all the girls have to be a specific body type? Okay.
Can I answer that question?
What's the difference?
Can I answer that since I work in that world? This is the thing. You are a model, you are a hanger. They have a market that is going to make money. So you need to have a height. Supermodels, a woman needs to be 5'9", 5'10". A man needs to be 5'10" up to 6'2". You need to have measurements because you're a hanger. A designer is not going to alter a dress just because you are short. So we are talking about two different words. Wilhelmina accept full figures, MNG accept full figures because I work with them, MNG New York, but it's because of the market. But when we're talking about high fashion, you need to have a certain requirement.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Size measurement below.
Very small. Yes.
I mean, especially because all the high fashion designers are Europeans.
Yep.
So the size number is is smaller than the one for American and other
Yes.
countries.
The
Exactly.
sample
So
size is really small.
when I
Yeah.
was modeling 300 years ago, I was skinny, but when they put me European number, I was fat and I was skinny. More skinny, I wouldn't look like I have cancer.
Also, can I add
and
something? Because I've
Go
actually
for it.
worked in London Fashion Week, because that's where I got my bachelor's degree in fashion design. So I've actually worked in the fashion industry in Europe, and trust me, the sizes, like you said, are completely different. And if you even want to go even further, especially couture, we're talking about high fashion, its sample size are extremely small. They are only made for that size. If you do not fit in, unfortunately, I would love different body size, shapes to wear that. If you do not fit in the sample size, you're not modeling. You could do commercial, you could do other things, but if you're not fitting, another model. And it's that harsh. Hate to say it, but you have to fit in the sample size.
Right.
And that's
So
how
what's the
modeling
difference
works.
between that and a pageant? It's
That's-
exactly the same thing.
Yeah, that's the nature of the business. I mean,
It's
either
just-
either you take it or you leave it. Period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't compete then.
Now,
Oh, you can compete another pageant where they accept more different body types,
Exactly.
not MGI. Yeah.
somebody's saying maybe Rachel should cross over to Miss Cosmo. All right, whatever.
Oh, by the way, Rafa, did you see today what they post?
What?
What Cosmo post today?
What?
Tell us.
You did not see?
No.
Oh,
Let's pull out
What?
our phones.
so
I haven't
here's
seen it.
the
What was it?
tea,
Uh-huh.
Okay, was the video of the girls, of the winner and the first runner-up, because Cosmo crowns two
Yeah.
girls
Yeah.
walking into their apartment.
Let
How
me
co-
check.
Now, that video happened to pop up today.
I gotta see it. Is it in Miss Cosmo?
Oh,
Where is it? I haven't
Okay.
checked it.
It came out
Is it
in Miss
Instagram?
Cosmo.
Let me check.
All right, I gotta check it.
You
I
gotta
mean,
check
to
it
be
out.
honest, I'm telling you, Cosmos is here to stay. And if they don't change, because I'm sorry, those girls, when you have a pageant that the winner and the first runner up are banking, doing their job, and they're traveling, you're doing pretty good from the first edition. So
Mhm.
that is the reason that I say that, every pageant start in a certain way. They need to move accordingly for what is going on. Miss Cosmos knows what they're looking, and they are literally piggy banking, like, oh, so I'm gonna take advantage because Miss Universe is going down. I'm gonna take you down. They are gonna be now the ones that all these countries that they don't want to go, they're looking for a better platform than Miss Universe. They're gonna go to Cosmos. And it's going to be a moment because Cosmos is going to continue growing as long, and I'm saying it today, as long as they continue the way that they're doing it as of right now, and they don't change, and they think that money is more powerful than the mission in order to continue growing and attract the people to help them out, they're going to be a force to recognize. And it's going to be Miss World, Miss Cosmos, and then the rest of the people.
I don't see that. I don't see that video.
I don't see any video.
Okay.
I'm on the Instagram.
I'm actually on my cell phone looking for it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think I saw it.
I'm checking the Facebook. Nothing there.
No, it was in Instagram actually. And I saw and I
Instagram.
was
Yeah,
like,
I
oh
am
my
on
God.
Instagram. I'm looking at Instagram. I don't see that at all.
Okay. I will find it and I will send it to you.
Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, the reason why I asked about Nikhil was that I heard that he was behind all these demands, these impossible demands. And also, they seem to be fond of each other, Rachel and Nikhil.
Well, they work together. So
Yeah. Well, also the mother's influence because, yeah, I mean, I really think it's a very dysfunctional family. That's all I can say. What is your opinion about the other pageant YouTubers like Luis or Rena Hendricks being one-sided in this matter? I haven't seen I
No,
haven't
we
seen
haven't
I haven't
seen
seen
it.
either of them.
we haven't seen
seen
their
it.
videos, but all I know it just pop up on my news feed that both of them actually, I think they made their videos not necessarily knowing all the facts like we now that we know now. And this is
Okay.
why I try that's why I prefer group discussions like this, because we can all
Yes.
compare notes and not be
Mhm.
totally biased. And the fact that we're having a group discussion is proof that we are objective, because we're
Yes.
considering all these claims, all these, allegations from here and there,
Mhm.
and then trying to find the proof and evidence for such claims. So,
Also, if
I
you
can
let's say, because
say,
I know that Rachel is trying to sue MGI and what,
good
in
luck
order
with
for
that
you
one.
to go
Good
to
luck with
court
that.
and
Yeah.
to have a concrete case, you need to have evidence. Once again, we said this since the start of the discussion. You need proof, evidence to say back up your claims. You cannot just cry in front of the judge and say, "Oh, I'm an innocent," like I'm crying my hearts out. A judge is not going to believe you. Just because you cry in front of a judge, they're not going to automatically charge Nawat or MGI saying you are guilty, right? And also, one thing I want to talk about some YouTubers, which I haven't seen the videos, but if it's one-sided, what is it?
Is
Nina,
it
Is that
showing?
video? It's kind of like
because
Your
I can't
your
see it because
background.
of your visual background.
Oh,
Your
it's my
background.
background. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
sent it to you via Instagram,
Send us.
actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll take a look later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, one thing I like about this discussion is not only us talking, but also we have insiders, people who actually work with the organization, giving their perspective. Like Noemi, right? She has worked with MGI for a long time, and that's something lacking from all these YouTubers who would love to get a clickbait, like, "Oh my God, look what happened! Oh, MGI is going down. This drama." Like they love to create this clickbait titles in order to get views. That's fantastic if that's your mission. But in order to be a pageant analyst, a pageant expert, you need to have different sides to a story, which is exactly what Rafa has managed to do. And that's why he's called the critical beauty, and not just some fancy name that, just to attract some like cheap views. Yeah.
Well, I can understand why some YouTubers would, do a one-sided video basically defending Rachel, because they have a specific audience that they're trying to target.
Exactly.
Maybe they're trying to grow their Indian viewership.
Their family.
It's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, their fan base. I don't know. And maybe this is the reason why my my number of subscribers are so low, are so low, even though I've been doing this for 6 years, is because I really don't cater to a specific target audience. If I really want to increase my viewership, I can easily switch my language to Filipino and try to appease the Filipino followers, the Filipino viewers. In fact,
somebody we know.
in fact, I thought about that. I thought about like creating a separate channel strictly in Filipino, so I can have Filipino viewers, But whether or not, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try to experiment on it, but I don't want an all Filipino channel, because the reason
be
why I
biased.
started this is because I have an
Yeah.
international audience.
Yeah.
I have an international audience. So,
Yes.
going back to all right. So, Lenka posted something that when I put on the weight as a model, I get my contract nullified by the agency. Any job, if you cannot fulfill the job, you get cut. Yeah, that's part of
Yeah.
that's
The
part of
next
the
girl gets it.
requirements.
There's
Okay.
always a new girl on the block. Yeah.
Exactly.
no.
There's already somebody to replace you.
Exactly.
If you say, let's say, if you wanna, there's no difference between that and, let's say, if you want to compete in a petite pageant, Miss Petite pageant, okay? Now I think the minimum
5'5".
the maximum is like 5'5" and below. You cannot be above 5'5".
5'5". Exactly.
What if you're like 5 feet and a half? Are they still gonna take you? Maybe not.
It
You're like
depends.
a little one half.
It depends. If it's just 0.5, yeah.
Are you gonna shave off your leg just to make it 5'5"? Or let's
Well-
say what Miss Petite, and then we have Miss Plus Size contest. That your minimum weight requirement should be at least 300 pounds. Okay. If you're below 300 pounds, you get the cut. We cannot take you. We cannot accept you. It's the same thing, let's say, with Miss International Queen or any of these transsexual pageants. If you're not fully snipped, we cannot accept you. So these are all regulations designed for specific pageants. If you don't like
Exactly.
the regulations, if you don't think you fit or in any of these pageants, then go ahead and compete in other pageants where
That's
your
it.
requirements will be met. Your own requirements.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's simple as that. Okay. So that's
Why are
why
you crying?
this whole diversity inclusion thing to me
Yeah.
is
It's out of hand.
it's just it's sad. It's really
It's
sad.
sad and it's
Yeah.
out of hand, and it's like they want to like they want you to they're stuffing this
They're
down
for-
your throat.
Yeah, exactly. And I really don't
Yeah.
like that. I
And I
really
don't
don't like it
Also,
because
there's a reason why the Miss Universe organization, the previous one, lost it, because inclusion clearly did not work for them. It sounded great on paper, but in terms of making money, marketing wise, and sponsors especially, it clearly did not work. I mean, obviously, I'm an openly gay man, and a lot of the people in this discussion are also, we're proud to be LGBT, but just because we're LGBT does not mean we want to see just inclusion for the sake of it. You need to mean it. Right? Just don't promote it as a marketing strategy. It needs to be from the core value of the organization. And I think, like I said, Miss International Queen does that. Other pageants does it, but it does not mean we need to force it on other people just for the sake of marketing, which I do not agree with it. And yeah, because Miss Universe has gone down. If it worked, it would have still had the previous organization running the Miss Universe competition.
exactly. Soldier
Exactly.
Boy says, Rafa, I think it's because you're saying these things is because you're Republican. No, it has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing
That's
to do
so
with politics.
anti-Republican,
I-
actually.
I assure you, when
Totally anti-Republican.
That is not Republican.
I was a Democrat most of my life. Okay, I was a Democrat most of my life. I voted for Obama in 2008. Okay, no, even with when Donald Trump owned Miss Universe, I think there was a specific standard of beauty.
Yes, he
for him
was,
too.
even said it.
And he was
He
a
would
Democrat. He was
he
a
would
Democrat
pick.
at that time.
Remember Trump
He was a
card?
Democrat
There
at
was a
that
thing called
time.
Yeah, he was a Democrat at the time.
yeah.
So it has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
It's a personal preference, more like
Yeah.
it.
Correct.
Just
Yes.
like food, color, what is your favorite dress, what is your favorite
Yes.
music, so forth. It has nothing to do with politics. But
Also, don't
pageants-
bring
can
politics
pageants
to
be
a discussion.
politicized? Yes.
Yeah.
pageants can be
Don't
politicized.
let's yeah.
Let's not do that. It's not.
I'm already pissed
nice
off because they took away my Timo and my
What?
my shopping, okay?
Yeah.
I still have my Timo. I still have my Timo. And I don't feel guilty because I love Timo.
No,
And-
I love Timo too.
And I only
Yeah.
buy stuff that I really need from now on. Not
Yeah.
that I want, but stuff that I really
Very
need.
smart.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
totally. Soldier Boy said, the reason is because the reason is that you have only 10,000 followers is because you're a Republican. You know what? I really
That
don't-
got nothing to do with
I
that.
really it has
It
nothing
has
to do with
nothing to
that.
do with
And
that.
you know what? I really
Yeah.
don't. I could care less. I mean, would you guys follow me if I became a Democrat, or if I promised that I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris should she run again in 2028? I don't know. Would you follow me? But then again, I would lose my loyal Republican followers. I don't want to risk that either. I don't want to alienate anybody. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
I mean, but since when politics has something to do about what you do with your page? I mean,
Exactly.
please, just
Yeah.
help us all. I mean, that is the ignorant comment. At the end of the day, you're gonna do what you want to do with your page. Thank God you're being objective, because we are already being accused because we are seen as biased just because either we're Latinos or Asians when it comes to being supporters in pageantry. So this make you be objective because you are not just targeting one population.
Demographic.
You want to
Yes.
have an open forum for everybody. How many
Yeah.
people are being here that are Latinos, South Asians, European, you name it? And we're being in this platform. I have the blessed to be here, to profess our opinions in the most respectful way as possible, sometimes calling stupid people out, like I like to do, when they are disrespectful on the chat towards my friends. But at the end of the day, it's better just to have it this way, because if it's about followers, you can buy followers, because today's day,
Yes.
some of these people, they love to
Yeah.
buy followers by chunk. So
Yep.
come on, people.
We have seen it time and again. People have to pump up those numbers up, especially before going to international pageant. Not going to say names, but we have seen it gone like triple, almost a million, some of them. So it's easy to buy followers. And I think, Rafa, you should be happy that yes, you may have like 10,000 followers, but they are loyal followers who are there for you. They come to watch the live stream. They're always commenting. They're supporting you, promoting the critical beauty. You rather have less loyal followers than just fake bots who just say like amazing, beautiful, like like generic comments in the comment section, which is not going to help your YouTube algorithm.
Soldier Boy, okay, fine. I would unfollow you if you became a Democrat, so Soldier Boy. Oh, I love you, Rafa. Thank you, Soldier Boy. That's nice. That's so sweet. Well, you guys can really help this channel go. This is not my channel. It's also your channel, people. This is our channel, okay? So we need all the help we can get to make this channel bigger and growing. Keep sharing, keep liking, so the algorithms of YouTube will, spread it like wildfire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So well, congrats to you. What? Been more than 2 hours, and despite of the negative commentators, live still going. Yes, I think
it's been 2 hours.
The number of viewers we have, like at least 250 viewers watching.
Oh wow,
which is
that's amazing.
Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate that. Praveen says, oh my god, are you guys still doing PR work for Nawat? None of us are getting paid.
We're not even getting. Okay, let's get this clear. Me and Rafa, we run pageant pages.
Hold on.
We have got zero. We have got $0 from MGI to talk about Miss Grand International.
Nothing.
So I don't know what you're talking about PR.
Bank account. I'm looking at my bank account. Hold up. How much money he sent me?
How much money do you have in your bank account, Willie?
I'm working hard to go to Thailand. So do you want to know for real how much I have?
I can give you some tips on how to make money, extra money. Start recycling and selling all your recycled stuff. What? But I didn't see that. Zero.
Do not show personal details like no.
Don't show like personal details.
Do not do it.
Do not do it.
They'll know exactly where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, for real, like, I just got my deposits from Nawat. Thank you, Papa Nawat, for those nice bags.
3 Givenchy bags.
My Givenchy bags. I mean, this is so stupid. I mean, do you think that these people care? I mean, let's be honest. They don't care about what we say or we don't say. Yes, we promote their platforms when we do our opinions, but we don't receive a paycheck about it. We don't how I say it, we're doing this because we want to, because we've been in this business for more than decades. So we're just doing our opinion. For those that hate us, thank you for hating us, because you're still watching us anyways. And for those that support us and say beautiful comments for all of us or individually, thank you very much, because I read them and I smile and everything, because there's people out there that they're open-minded. I mean, when you watch this type of live, you need to come with the mind that you need to be objective. They will say things that you will like, and they will say things that you will not like. It's like us. There's things that we can say among each other that we do not agree. That doesn't mean that we're going to pull our hairs or whatever. We're still friends, but that is part of the magic of doing this live. We can say our opinion on a respectful way, say our part, and that's it. But if you come to this live just thinking that we're going to go one-sided just to get followers, I don't praise CJ in that way. Filipinos love me just because I don't like the current Miss Universe Philippines. I will not do that. I'm going to praise the person because, in my opinion, they deserve it. I will praise Rachel because, for me, she was the real winner for Miss Grand. She deserved it. Putting aside her personalities, who's working with her, and all the drama that is coming out, she won, and they saw that on her. So I'm gonna stand by my support for her as a winner. And I'm not saying that just because I want the people from India, North and South are in between, to say, oh my God, we love Wilfredo, thank you. No, that is my opinion. And I'm not gonna sold my soul of my opinions just to get a heart, a like, or an approval. Because at the end of the day, guys, thank you for being there for us. But I don't get paid to do this from you guys. The only thing I get from you guys is love or hate. And at the end of the day, I can sleep in my bed very happy with you. No guilty conscience because I stay true to myself and for what I believe. And all of us do the same thing. Thank you.
And the winner goes
And
to
the winner goes
Wilfredo.
Oh my God, Noemi, thank you. You give me this opportunity. Thank you for this
I'm sorry,
sponsor.
guys. Rafa, read the comments that you have skipped from before. You know what? There's so many comments. This is what Super Chat is all about. If you want me to read your comment and to be highlighted, you need to pay. You need to send me money, okay? That's the only
As
way.
someone who went to see the Miss Grand in person last year, I will give her the credit. It was definitely Rachel. She definitely deserved. She shined on the stage. But after the coronation, after the finals, it was definitely CJ who showed that she deserved to be the Miss Grand International. Yes, until the stage performance, it was definitely Rachel. She gave a good answer. She had a great performance. We cannot deny that. It's just that what she did with the title later on, after the coronation, it showed who was the true winner, and it was CJ, because she never failed to promote about Miss Grand International. That is the mission of being a title holder, is to, like I said before, travel throughout the country, and even social media. She's constantly posting about MGI and uplifting the image of MGI instead of dragging them down, doing some kind of YouTube video.
Yeah,
because that's damaging the image.
She was encouraging young women to
Correct. Yes.
compete. Yeah,
exactly.
And I don't see. I don't recall Rachel doing that at all. You know,
and this is a good thing because Philippines is being. I mean, I know CJ will be now Miss Grand International, and that's beautiful. But I know Philippines wants to have their first original winner that wins on stage, that they jump and celebrate. So
it could be a back-to-back.
Technically,
it could be a back-to-back.
I mean, CJ is literally working hard to promote a brand, pave the road in order to get finally the dream. Yes, Philippines celebrate that you're going to have a Miss Grand for 5 months, but I know you're going to celebrate when finally on stage they say Philippines. You know, it's like Samantha Bernard. She's my favorite Filipino queen in Grand System, which I always say she was the rightful winner for Miss Grand, and I will not change my mind about it.
That's debatable, darling. I love Abina. I really.
You know what, Rafa? I'm going to tell you something right now.
What is that face, Noemi?
Please. You see, Rafa, you push the correct buttons to move my Puerto Rican tone, and I don't want to start speaking the truth again. People know. Samantha Bernard is the rightful winner for that edition, and I say it because she was the rightful winner. She was the best Filipino queen at that time. This year, they sent somebody that not only, last year, they sent somebody that not only put Philippines in the map again and erased the negativity of the previous Grand Filipino queen that did so much damage. So she needed to do some damage control with her participation, and she made it, which I was happy that at least they didn't block her just because her predecessor did such a bad job. So I'm happy that CJ not only was able to put Philippines in the map and showcase what a true Filipino queen is all about and made of, but also make it to as first runner up. And now she is going to take the mantle of Miss Grand International because she was the first runner up on international stage. So I know she's going to continue doing this in this month.
You know what? It's funny because like on my Instagram, I did a poll. I asked my followers, should CJ accept the Miss Grand International title? And 43% said no, and 43% said yes, and 57% said no. So the majority did not want CJ to accept the crown. And I sort of like agree with them because in a way, I still feel that CJ could still try out for Miss Universe Philippines, but there's no guarantee that she could win Miss Universe Philippines. So you might as well take advantage of this crown that's being offered to you, take advantage of it. And And I would like to see CJ also prepare the next Miss Grand
Yes.
Philippines.
That would be amazing.
There's a
Yes.
possibility that the Philippines could win this year.
Yes, I think there's a possible back-to-back
There's a very
for the
strong possibility,
Philippines.
maybe top
Yes.
top 5 for sure.
Yes.
But winning, there's a possibility. There's a very strong possibility.
Yes.
So we'll see. And I think the Miss Grand Philippines competition this year is going to be amazing. One of the best productions ever.
Yes, for sure.
Definitely.
And
I
have you
can't wait
seen
to
the
see
audition? There were
Philippines.
so many stunning
Well,
contestants.
Michelle D, Miss Universe
Yeah,
Philippines
Miss Universe
2023.
Philippines. She wasn't there.
Has she
She
signed?
didn't
Oh,
come.
she wasn't there. Okay, because
No, she wasn't
I'm
there.
hearing this
She was, I
rumor.
think, in the US. I think she went on a holiday on the day of the audition, the final
Oh,
screening.
okay.
Maybe
I would
next
love to,
year.
yeah. I
yeah.
think Michelle D would be ideal, would be perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, she's talented.
Michelle-
She's
If
musical.
Michelle did go to me to Miss Grand, I would be like, yeah, it's game over.
How about Miss Grand Chile? Is she
I
coming?
think, yeah, I want to see Miss Grand Miss Universe Chile, Emilia
Miss
Diaz.
Universe Chile. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, she would be a
I'm
strong
like,
contender.
she
No,
would be
look at that
strong,
face.
but
Like,
she's not Miss Grand #1 and #2. You say Michelle D. You see, she's one of those Filipino queens. The short hair, her attitude, representing the community aside. She's bisexual, but she's one of those that you feel like that's a queen that transform and own the stage. I mean, that's a diva. She's a star. She's like a star is born.
Yep.
That's right. You see, right there, Michelle would be a perfect candidate to be Miss Grand International. I think CJ, with her beauty and presence, she will be a good Miss Cosmo. Don't waste your time in Miss Universe, honestly. Just put your energy where you know you're gonna get what you want. And I think Miss Cosmos will be a good platform for her. For her as of right now, since Miss Universe is so in the boat. Because right now, for all the Miss Universe contestants, don't be beautiful because you might not be able to travel because of jealousy.
okay, I'm looking at one of the screenshots that I made about from Rachel's truth video. She also said this. They, meaning the organization, they don't care about how you speak or what you think. They only care about what you look. True? False?
I mean, it's Asian patterns. They are based, oh my lord. Why people don't do their research? Have they haven't learned that if the director is from Asia, they want somebody that have a beautiful skin, it's beautiful, is their beauty standards? And again, this is called a beauty
pageant.
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 You need to be
Yes.
beautiful from inside, beautiful physically on the standards of beauty, and you need to be a good communicator. This is not the break of clothes.
Can I add something to that quickly? So, for someone who has actually gone to Seoul, South Korea with the entire family to do some cosmetic enhancement, it is quite rich to say that Miss Grand International is all about promoting but physical beauty, because clearly you knew.
Good point, George. That's a good
if you take the whole family, without telling the organization to get those enhancements, you cannot then complain and say that, oh, MGI is all about looks, it's all about the outer appearance, the physical attributes, because that shows that you knew exactly what you signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that is also one of the major sponsors of Miss Grand International, a cosmetic clinic in South Korea. So
yes, yeah. So I mean, you're supposed to be a model / spokesperson / ambassador for the organization. That's not a very easy job. Not an easy job. She also said, and I quote, they will go to any lengths to defame me, to malign my name and my image, and to destroy my credibility. They will say anything, frankly, anything. And then she gives a warning to future contestants. If you win, you will be completely on your own, and you're not going to get any love or special treatment or safety or support from this organization. They don't care about you. It does not care about its queens. All it wants is to use its queens until the queens are no longer useful. And I could not be part of this anymore.
I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that statement. Okay, because we have seen throughout the years the other grand queens joining the Miss Grand International. They still have a relationship with Teresa and Nawat. So, I mean, I feel like this is her statement and her thing on her own, but that, you know, you can't listen again, this is a business. This is a business to make money. It's a business to be able to build a production. It is a business. If you were not mentally prepared for this job, then you need to realize then that this is not for you. And you walked away, you made the decision to walk away. Again, we don't know, you know, who put out the statement before, whatever. I don't care at this point, but she is no longer. So she needs to really, I feel like she really needs to take this time and disconnect from social media.
Yep.
Okay. Disappear, concentrate on your well-being and with your family.
She needs to go to the Buddhist temple where Lenka is.
Go see Lanka and
get some solitude.
and get some solitude and really think and meditate on everything that has happened. And, you know, hey, when one door closes, another door opens.
Yep.
And you never know, maybe this was the best decision for, obviously it was the best decision for you to leave, and maybe there is something bigger and better for you out there waiting. So I would not invest my energy on all of this drama anymore. You said your piece, you did your video, you said what you needed to say. I would just leave it at that. Disconnect from social media, be with your family, take this time to be one with you, and come back happier and healthier. And we wish you all the best. And for Philippines, congratulations for your, Miss Grand winner. I'm sure that in the following months ahead, she will do a great job.
And the Philippines just made history by being the first Asian country to win all Grand Slam titles. Okay.
First Asian because
first Asian country.
Puerto Rico.
I knew you were going to say that.
Puerto Rico was
first Asian.
Is the only country in the world that have all the titles. So thank you. You're welcome. But another thing is like the same way that I said, because I know maybe somebody's gonna say something that soon. They catch it. Luis is saying, Wilfredo is saying that why they waited 7 months to fire her or and stuff. She said that the only time that she was happy was the final night. So why you waited 7 months to leave? I know you wanted to make India proud, but I'm going to be very honest. Mental health goes over any job, any title, and any crown. If your mental health was diminishing, if you're not able to, if after 4 weeks you were not able to do this, I would prefer for her to step down and say, hey guys, sadly to say, I cannot cope with what is going on. We are not a good match, or this is not happening. I prefer, that would be a better message, like when Miss Russia left Miss Universe and then Panama became Miss Universe in 2002. You need to be honest with yourself. If you, I mean, again, your national, your country experience, bless you. National experience, state experience, country experience has nothing to do with the experience that you are going to have on international level, because the organization is not going to be the same people, it's not going to be the same pampering, the same care, the same everything. So mental health is very important. At the end of the day, this is a 12-month job, maybe 15 months pushing it for certain pageant system. But still, your mental health is more important than a title and that you just pursue because you want to get it, not because somebody force you to do so. So that kind of, that is, so I analyze both sides. While I wonder why waited 7 months for MGI, why you waited 7 months as a person, if
Yep.
your mental health, your you're you're being hungry, physically speaking, everything that you were going through, if you were not able to handle it, again, why to hope for so much? I couldn't live with
Also, can I add to what he said? Because she said she was feeling happy until the finals, right? We cannot forget that
hmm
top nine, where obviously Myanmar was not there, but like out of the top 10, they did stay in Thailand and they traveled around for about a month. So they did. So you said you're not happy when you're traveling with the other beauty queens, traveling around the different parts of the country, also promoting the MGI product or the brand. So if she was not happy, then she could have given up then and give it to CJ because they were all traveling together. It would have been so much easier and we would have understood that maybe she was homesick. Maybe this was not meant for her. Because if you had spent that extra month, I'm not talking about the activities after the finals, they did do extra things with the top 10. So you could have given up then. I would have completely respected her choice because that kind of gave her a glimpse of what she will be doing throughout the 12 months of reign. So I think it was
exactly.
kind of yeah, it was kind of immature and also not thinking clearly about the future because now this is going to affect the future upcoming Miss Grand India. Hopefully it does not, but she has kind of tarnished this
It will,
connection
unfortunately.
between her and the India and MGI,
Mm-hmm.
which is I feel really bad because there's so many girls aspiring to be the next Miss Grand International. I saw so many contestants messaging me from the new organization saying, "Oh, George, I'm scared. Like, should I like give up? Should I like drop out? Like, people are telling me, forcing me to quit from the national pageant just because of one person." Rachel has said that you should not join. So like a lot of girls are now scared to even join the national pageant. So I think this is really hurting a lot of people because of one selfish person.
Yeah, that's we said this in the
That-
beginning that
Yeah.
we, before you joined, that's one of the things that I mentioned, that this is really bad for the organization and it's bad for pageantry in general.
Yes.
Regardless whether you're going to Miss Grand or any pageant, they look at this and they say, oh, all the pageants are the same. They all treat no, they don't treat. You have to understand they're your boss. Your boss is not going, it's not, your boss will treat you with respect, but they're not there to mother you. They're not there to be your parents. They're not there to hold your hand. They're not there to, coddle you. That's why you have your family. That's why you have to have a strong support system with you. Now, again, this is really bad for pageantry. Like I said, it's bad for us as national directors.
It's bad for the organization as well.
It's bad for the organization. Yeah. It's not a good look. And especially when they're going into now joining with Miss Universe, it's kind of like, oh, do they, now Miss Universe is going to be like, now she's going to drag all this drama into Miss Universe. And we already have our own drama going on. And we all know about that. It's sad. It's a sad, we're not here trying to defend one side or the other. We're being here objective and we're stating exactly how things are run and what we expect from a title holder. Same as what we expect for a title holder from the country. We expect them to do their job. We expect them to promote the brand, to promote the sponsors, to follow instructions, to be willing and able to assist in whatever the organization needs and be available. Just be available and do your work. And you have the liberty of building your own legacy. That is what you're supposed to do as a queen. Build your legacy so that when you give up your crown, people will always remember you.
Correct.
If may I say this before Rafa, I'm so sorry because I have an advice and an opinion. I mean, I have an advice, but also this is the way of thinking. I don't think it's going to tarnish Miss Grand India and the contestants. I will advise any contestant to continue participating and joining. I think, and I'm going to go based on this last year experience. We saw a Filipino queen that was one of the worst Filipino queens ever competing in pageant not this last edition, previous to this edition. And look what CJ accomplished. So as long as the new directorship have build a good relationship with the MGI and they follow through business wise, I think they will be able to make it and continue putting India in the map. And I know it's like a fine line, but again, based on the experience that we saw, sending a Filipino queen that was beautiful, but she wasn't the part and even left the pageant because she wasn't called the top 20. Look what CJ accomplished. It's like Myanmar. Myanmar, with whatever happened with again, a director involved, a national director and everything, and this beautiful girl from Myanmar and the way that she behaved, because she wasn't mature enough to deal with all this situation. That doesn't mean that Myanmar needs to kind of hold back to send good contenders or hold back for the dream that the job that they want, that they feel that they would be able to do a good job because it's a pageant system that they like and they feel that they have all the qualifications. It's up to the organization and the contender to let them know, hey, I don't care what happened with the last one. I'm bringing you a version that is going to work for you.
Yeah. And also, I want to give a quick happy birthday to Tay, Miss Grand Myanmar. She just turned 18. Did you know that? Like,
wow.
She just turned 18.
She's still a
makes,
baby.
I think that, yeah, she is a baby. So I know a lot of us being quite like harsh towards her, like what happened. I think she is a victim in all of this. I think the main, the evil person or the villain is the national director who physically like moved her and like carried her off from that stage to like outside the venue. So yeah, and also she has matured a lot within the last, but 10, not even 10 months, like less than that, because she actually congratulated CJ. So that shows she has matured a lot in a short period of time. So just props to her. So and I hope she does well in the future with whatever she does.
Yeah, I mean, her life is ahead of her because she
just started.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you guys read from the MGI Facebook official page. They did publish Rachel's letter to the organization.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys have the chance to read it?
Yeah.
So she made some statements, of course, and they were all contradicted. They were all debunked. And of course, Teresa answered back and basically, what triggered my attention was that the bullet point number 3 in Teresa's letter, it says, as stated in the contract, you signed and reaffirmed during your interview, of which we have a video recording, saying that you agreed to adhere to all the company policies, regulations, and guidances. That's what she said.
Do you remember during the closed door interview, which was technically not closed door because we all saw it, what Rachel was saying, that she was pleading that she'll work hard, she'll not complain, she'll follow through the duties of being a Miss Grand International, and she'll bring pride and glory to this organization to help expand throughout the country. So clearly she made fake promises, because that's what she said. We have a physical proof, a video where during the closed interview she said that. So now she cannot like say these are false, or spread like fake claims during the video she made recently, because that's what she said in the closed door. Do you remember like the thing she said, like, I'll work hard, I'm not going to complain?
I will have to look back at that video.
Yeah, she made a lot of claims regarding like why they should pick her as Miss Grand International, but it hasn't happened when she actually got the crown.
Again, all these girls say that they want, and they'll say anything. They'll say anything to place, right? But then when it comes the time to really work, then that's when all of them have issues of, they're mad at me, they don't treat me right, they blah, blah, blah. Okay, as a national director, if I tell you, you're doing all these things to hurt my company, what do you expect me? How do you expect me
to react?
I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be angry, and I'm going to call you out. And so, you're sensitive now. You're doing all this behind the company's back and abusing the partnership that the company MGI has with a sponsor. creating a problem right there of trust, because now does the sponsor trust MGI, or it first of all, no queen has the right to contact a sponsor directly to be asking for anything.
Right.
Anything.
Yeah, because
That
you're
is
behind their
so
back.
disrespectful.
Yeah, totally.
So disrespectful.
Can I add something to that? I just remember. So I was reading the transcript done by one of the members of the MGI organization. So when she returned to India, one of the things that she demanded from the MGI organization was she wanted her own personal assistant, makeup artist, to fly all the way to India, but she will not pay them a penny. So they will be working as a slave in India for free during a stay in India for, I don't know how long she was there, like 2-3 months. So how are we supposed to respect someone who doesn't want to pay makeup artists, talents, hairdressers, and an assistant, which she wanted MGI to provide them? So that kind of like made me not really like respect her as much, because that's slavery. Like,
Well, the fact that hardly anybody greeted her at the airport when she returned for her
and
homecoming.
The national director told me that only 4 people turned up from her family. She said that her family members would bring at least 20 plus people, but the actual people turned up were only 4 people from the close friends and family, and the rest were all invited by the national director, who once again is completely upset because now she has been disregarded through all the effort she has made for the homecoming, because she said that, oh, it's just my dad, my father, who is responsible behind this homecoming. And yeah, it just seems quite messy, the whole thing.
Yeah, I would also think that ever since she won, Miss Grand, or even after she had won Miss Grand India 2024, I would think that she would have at least have enough Indian pageant followers or pageant fans to support her, or at least to go to the airport.
Go in person.
To go to the airport and actually, cheer for her and support her. But none of that happened. None of that ever happened, So I have a question. Okay, now that Philippines is Miss Grand, and we know that the second runner-up from Myanmar was dethroned, will Miss France be promoted though to second runner-up?
I think they're going to keep her as where she is.
They will keep her as she is, the third runner-up? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to do anything.
Usually they promote because
above. There was that falling out, I think that he's going to leave it as is.
Okay. And I think Miss Grand is doing very well. I mean, she
was at Cannes too.
She was at Cannes and looking fabulous.
She's doing a good job. Yeah.
And she has her master. She gives all these master class pageant courses. She travels to Africa, to Senegal, and everywhere. So yeah, she's okay. I'm happy for her. All right. I think we're done unless we want to add something. What else did we miss? Let me look back. Let me go look back at the letter in the contract. Okay, we established the unverified loss of funds in Thailand. The organization could not verify the fact that she had supposedly lost $1,000. Violation of contract in terms in India. Delays and issues with payments and taxes. We talked about that.
Did you talk about the number 5? It's talk about the expense claims. Yeah, I don't think we have talked about it.
She later demanded reimbursement of over $4,000 for expenses, including beverages, meals. I think we talked about that, right? She bought stuff. She bought a lot of things that she expected for the organization to reimburse her for.
Yeah, but if that was not previously discussed,
yes, that was not a contract.
Then it's not.
Yeah.
And you can't get reimbursed by anything without receipts.
She does not have receipts. That's the problem. Yeah, she bought all the things, but she doesn't have.
So if you don't get receipts, you don't get no money. It's simple as that. Any company would do the same thing. Show me the receipts, then you get reimbursed. You got no receipt, you don't get paid for that. Period. You don't got no proof.
I mean, at the end of the day, you need proof for everything. If you want to criticize the organization, come with receipts. If the organization is gonna talk about you, they're gonna come with receipt. I mean, you need to show proof of everything.
She doesn't. When after learning all these things about her, I don't think she's a very smart person. She's not really astute. That's the word I'm looking for, astute. As far as being, I mean, I don't care if she's 21, okay? There are even 18-year-old young women who are smarter and more astute than her, who are more, who are more street savvy, street smarter.
Do you remember Sushmita Sen was 18 when she won Miss Universe? She was 18.
And she
when she won the,
she had so much class.
yeah,
And
she was
Dayanara,
and
yeah.
style.
Dayanara was
Exactly.
17 going to 18 when she became Miss Universe.
Well, look at
Yeah, so
Aishwarya. It's the same
You
thing with
know,
Aishwarya.
Yeah,
Very classy.
they're all
and
young.
Aishwarya was young,
Yes.
and Priyanka was 18, 19. This is the thing. Age is just a number, but this is when culture and how you grew up or where you grew up comes into the picture. In the Latin countries, for instance, we need to grow fast because if we want to do something, we need to get that moment of truth, that momentum. If you grew up in a society that did protect you so much, like for instance, and this is one of the things that I hear a lot when I'm coaching here in USA, you can put an 18-year-old from the United States compete with an 18-year-old from a Latin country like Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Mexico. They will be eaten alive because the street life, the life experiences, the things that they do, give them that maturity. I mean, and going back to her, maybe, and I say maybe, I don't know her family, so either culturally speaking or social class speaking, maybe she's too sheltered or everything was given to her. So this was a cultural shock for her.
She's a spoiled brat.
Again,
Yeah.
everything comes everything comes to the national directors, and again, we see a national director from Myanmar and look what happened to this girl. We see a national director pull out and look what happened to her. So again, it's not always
blame
the
it on the director. It's always the director's fault.
It's not always, but it's a
Most of the
teamwork
time.
effort. I'm as a director, I don't work with one person. First of all, I'm working with you, not with your family. Your family needs to stay over there. You need to grow a pair because you're gonna compete. Because if you win, you're gonna be by yourself. You need to be a boss lady. They're not gonna cater you. So from there, you need to teach those queens that you're going to go. Yes, I think you're beautiful, but let's bring you down on reality check. If you win, this is a job. You are not going to win and be Cinderella. Even top models, they need to work hard for what they want. They're not catered. So
yeah, I just think that Rachel is like, even though she has good education, she went to a good institution, I just don't think she is street smart. I think she lacks just basic things like how to make food for herself, just look after herself. I think you are 21, right? Allegedly, which we do not know if that's true. I have been told she's a lot older than 21, but allegedly she's 21. So as someone who was 21, I have traveled abroad by myself without families. I've lived in places for like 2-3 weeks, like doing solo travel. So you cannot even say that, oh, you're just 21. You should just need to be street smart and know how to carry yourself without just the guidance of your family.
Somebody mentioned Priyanka Chopra was 17 when she won Miss India.
Exactly. There have been a lot of young queens, even from India, who had incredible jobs. So
very mature.
I just think the individual issue.
She was 19, but still she's teen. I mean, Priyanka and Lara Dutta and
Lara, another one. Very good.
Ashara Rai. I'm missing one person. I'm missing one person. Ashwarya, Lara, Priyanka.
Sushmita was 18.
This is the funny thing about these 4 amazing title holders that put India in the map, being the only country that have winning 2 international titles with relevance at their time. They were young. On their national pageant, they were tied. They needed to do a second round of questions. So you knew these girls were coming from everything and anything. And they were humble because even Shwara Rai said that when she won, she said, I didn't have a beach body because in her mentality, and I know in the mentality of in the 90s, like the beach swimsuit body was Venezuela style. Tall and six-pack. But when you see Ashrara right in swimsuit, she looked gorgeous. She looked like a little doll. She was gorgeous.
Even though she was very
So,
hesitant about wearing a swimsuit. She mentioned that later.
mhm,
She didn't feel comfortable, but she showed her beautiful body anyway. Yeah. So
exactly. She looked gorgeous. But
yeah.
even at that moment, she was very humble. But again, this is for all comers from India. If they want to look for queens that know how to stand up for themselves, know what they need to do, work hard for what they want, they have examples already to follow. There's not an excuse. It's 2025. You do your own research. If you want to get the job, you do your research for the job that you want to apply. If you want to get the job, you know what you need to do. And if you think that this is gonna be everything hands down, that this is a Disney movie, they're gonna give you everything because you are rich and powerful. Guess what? Get out of the cloud, because when you win a title, you need to work. You're not going to be in a penthouse just living without working and getting a paycheck. That doesn't work in any job. This is a job for any contender. You need to do your job.
And also for the future Miss Grand International, have a clear communication with the organization before accepting any jobs, because you have signed a contract, right? You cannot get paid under the table and not let the organization know, because that leads to a lot of distrust, and this could lead to issues like Rachel had. So for the future queens, for the next year's Miss Grand International, please have a clear communication. Text them, call them. If maybe you get an offer, job opportunity, let them know. And after they accept it, maybe, like, get the permission from the MGI, then you can work with them. Because it's really disrespectful just to say, okay, I'm going to do the job, but you're working as a freelancer, which you are not. You're under a contract, which you're part of a team. So you need to work as a team instead of being selfish and say, like, okay, I'm going to do it anyway. So that's, I feel like that was an issue.
Yeah. Now, bullet point number 10. It says termination of contract and misleading resignation claim. In response, the organization sent a clear and formal reply to the lawyer and officially terminated her contract. Subsequently, she posted publicly that she had resigned, but in reality, her dismissal had already been executed prior to her resignation announcement. Okay, so she can say that she resigned, but sadly, the reality is she was actually dismissed, terminated before she could say resigned, resignation. And that's the truth. Okay, I'm sorry, people. If you don't like what the organization says, that's your problem. Okay, they have every right to defend, their organization, because it's their bread and butter. It's their business.
Their
now,
business.
Speaking of the crown, do we know if Rachel has returned?
He has it. He has it. No,
He has it.
He already got it back.
Now what has
Thailand.
Okay,
he did a live stream yesterday.
Okay, so I saw a video of Nawat displaying the crown.
He has it.
Yeah,
I saw some comments that that's the real crown that Rachel
the
was
real crown.
to carry.
Exactly. Allegedly, he said a comment with his English saying that he didn't trust her, so he got the crown with the excuse and gave her a fake crown.
So
that sounded like Rachel had only the fake crown, but the real crown was in his possession at all times, or at least recent.
Yeah,
well,
he has
I mean, regardless, she needs to ship it to him, regardless whether it's fake, because that's property of MGI. That is not her property. That's another thing.
To make it even more like easier, just give that crown to Opal Suchata. Miss World is going to end tomorrow. She can come back to Thailand with the MGI crown. You don't even have to pay for the shipping. Just give it to Miss Thailand. Miss Thailand,
really, right? Oh my God. Okay, what else did we miss? I think we pretty much covered everything.
I think we covered everything.
I think that's it. Yeah.
This was a good life again with my favorite people.
Okay, you guys have viewers, dear viewers. Okay, you better like this group discussion. Okay, there are 205 people and under 100 likes only. Come on, people, you can do better. Help support this channel. Like, and share and comment. Now, if you guys have any more questions that we missed, let me know in the comment section. Other than that, you guys are pretty much like fighting each other off. Not
Well,
interested.
there's somebody that asked me a question that I saw, and I have no energy. Let's talk about Atisa Minalo. She won. I don't like her. She's better for Miss World than Miss Universe. That's my answer. I stand by it. She
But why
wasn't
they
the
keep
best
on
one to
asking
win.
the same question over and over again?
Yeah, I'm tired. I don't want to change my opinion. I will not apologize. She's not a Miss Universe material. She didn't deserve to win. There was two contenders in that top that were much better representation for the Philippines. So with that being said, enjoy. I mean, I don't know where is she right now. She's not doing nothing. CJ is doing more than her. Last but not least, I don't care because she's not gonna be Miss Universe and she's not relevant right now. Miss Universe is not relevant. I answered the question. Anything else?
What if she wins Miss Universe though?
I will not apologize. She is great as her personality.
All right, point taken.
And
All right, can we? Okay, I think
besides that, Vina is coming, so I want Vina to win Miss Universe.
I don't
That's my
know.
goal.
Vina has some strong competition. She has some strong.
Yeah,
She does. She does have like at least two
Mhm.
strong
Yeah.
contestants.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
she has some competition, but she's
Miss
still
Universe,
already in her twos.
Miss Universe style Bangkok. She's
Bangkok is strong.
Yeah.
Bangkok is
beautiful.
stunning.
Yes.
She's
very
like
stunning
Miss,
indeed.
like
Yeah.
Miss Venezuela 2018 Stephanie. It's like an Asian version of Stephanie. I'm like, what the heck?
All right.
Okay, you better work.
I'm sure we will have plenty of time to talk about all these Miss Universe contenders, but can we talk about the fact why the outgoing Miss Universe Victoria Keir Talvig was absent in Cannes, whereas those two continental, but three continental queens were there.
That's a good one.
It was Philippines, Peru, and Finland.
Peru was there.
I think
Yeah.
I sent you the video, Rafa.
Yeah, where was Nigeria though?
I don't know what happened with
Where was
Nigeria.
Nigeria? Yeah. And then Denmark was not there because allegedly Raul's jealous wife
Uh-huh.
kicked Victoria out of the private plane. Apparently, she was very mad that Victoria and Raul were, I guess they were showing some, I don't know, where they were too nice to each other. I don't know the narrative, the story. So Mrs. Raul kicked Victoria out, and that's why the reason she was not able to go to Cannes. And not only that, but Victoria went to Denmark unchaperoned. None of the staff from Miss Universe accompanied her. She traveled on her own. So
Wow.
Right. Yeah, I heard that she
something's
left.
going on. Something's going on.
Something is going
Yeah.
on with Miss Universe. Yeah.
Is she going to be dethroned? Or I hope not, because I think she's doing a great job. I don't know. If she is dethroned, then Nigeria automatically becomes Miss Universe and the first mother Miss Universe. Okay. So there's a lot of things going on. Pageant followers, pageant fans, what do you think? Do you know anything that we should know?
I'm
Okay,
gonna
please
say
comment.
this, and maybe people
Somebody
will
says
not like
they're having a menage a trois.
yeah,
A menage a
yeah. I'm gonna say this. I believe it's a Donald Trump, but I believe that no straight man needs to be managing a beauty pageant. Here's what: if this is real, these allegations. Number one, she knew he wanted to be involved in beauty pageants. You don't want your husband surrounded by beautiful women and you're that insecure. You could have told him or left him. Because let's be honest, the guy is handsome for his age. Number two is either he's making money to give you a lifestyle. So if you're that insecure that this beautiful, gorgeous woman can't take your husband from you, then you have a freaking big problem. So when she joined Miss Universe, insecure, that's a term of endearment. I mean, if you are not woman enough to showcase and protect what is yours, I mean, she's insecure. If this is real, then this is the bad part. That's the reason why I say, do not be beautiful to be Miss Universe, because if this is going to happen, you are tarnishing a brand and money and promotion for the pageant that needs to revamp and get money because it's destroyed just because you're jealous. Why? Give me a break. You know what? Married man doesn't need to be handling pageants. Give it to gay people. It's going to be more drama.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
least,
Mhm.
but at least we don't need to be with the, oh my God, baby, don't get her, because they know the owner is not going to go behind her to have sex with her. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know
All
what?
right. Now, speaking of sex, okay, as you know, Miss Universe organization.
What?
What?
What are you
What
talking
did he
about?
say? Did I miss something? What is he doing? Where are you? What are you doing? Are you doing something indecent? Come on, Willie.
Just
He's
die
gone.
laughing.
As I was about to say, Miss Universe organization has a new chief executive. His name is Ronald
Oh, yeah.
Day. Okay.
Mhm.
And he was
Mm.
given the title of Miss Universe CEO for the West,
West. Right,
as
West.
as
These two.
opposed to
Yeah.
Nawat, who
He's
is
East.
the CEO of East
the
or
East.
Asiana.
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 Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Why can't
Why
they
is it
call
called
it
Asiana?
simply the East? Like, who is Asiana? Asiana Airlines? You
Yeah,
know,
it sounds like why not all like Asia or like Oceania? Something like Miss World does. Like
Yeah,
I don't know why is it
and
called.
Asia.
anyway,
Yeah.
can we talk about Ronald Day? Okay, because somebody when you Google his name, like archived news, will show you that he had been accused of sexual harassment by both men and women, and that one of his former trainers accused him of being indecent, and all that stuff. So you wonder, why is the Miss Universe organization turning into a brothel or turning into a sexual pit where everybody's involved into something, some sexual innuendo? Okay, there's a lot of all these like sexual stuff going on, okay? Which makes you believe, okay, maybe Raul himself is a dirty old man, and rumor has it that the only reason why he crowned of what's her face, Victoria, is because he wants to eventually marry her, make her
Allegedly. Rafa, you need to say
Allegedly.
his wife.
Yeah.
As
I
his
hope you
wife.
put
Remember that one,
disclaimer.
allegedly?
Do you have disclaimer, by the way? Rafa, do you have disclaimer
I
behind
told
you?
allegedly.
No,
Allegedly.
no.
You need to put disclaimer.
Told you.
Disclaimer.
Allegedly.
Everything disclaimer, people.
Every-
Disclaimer. This is strictly for entertainment purposes. Okay.
Yeah.
This is all just rumors. They're all strict opinions. So you people cannot sue us. Okay. What else? What else did we miss? Okay. Any news from Conan? What has happened to Conan? She's disappeared. She's out of the blue.
No
Uh,
idea.
No
What happened to
idea.
Hello? What happened to Hello Universe?
well, she cannot say hello universe right now for 50 something months right now. She
Oh
needs
my
to say hello,
God.
hello.
Trademark. Oh
I
my
can.
God.
Oh,
Okay,
talking
let's
about Miss Universe before we leave, what is the stupidity? I'm telling you that this is just a stupid. Miss Universal Latina. Mhm. That is
You
the
guys need to talk about
stupidest.
this. What is that?
That is the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life. I'm waiting for Miss Universe Asia, Miss Universe Europe, Miss
Africa.
Universe
Universe
Africa.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, this is stupid. You're gonna have two former Miss Universe training people. Some of these girls competed in other pageants. They didn't make it because they're airheads, and they're gonna go just to be Miss Universe Latina and just be clapping because they tried this idea before just to get money. I mean, I'm done.
Well,
Just
it's
this is
business.
stupid.
Again, it's all about making money. This is just one of their
But
scams.
But the format that they follow in America, for people that doesn't follow, they want to follow the format of Nuestra Belleza Latina. For those that doesn't know, Nuestra Belleza Latina used to be a famous beauty pageant. They brought it back as a reality show. It started good and then became shit, honestly. And if they're gonna follow that format, the show thing is gonna be just by vote of the fans. So it's like, what? So you're gonna get a queen from a reality show to be from a Latin country. So, so she's gonna be Miss Universe Latina. Let me put her in the finalist with her other Latina sisters. I think that is ridiculous. I prefer to have a continental queen, Miss Universe. Okay, because I'm
Yeah,
waiting for Miss Universe
I agree.
Asia, Miss Universe
Yeah.
Africa, Miss Universe
Yes.
Europe.
Europe.
Did
Yeah.
I miss? So
Oh,
then they just said,
Miss Universe Europe and the Middle East. Don't forget.
and the Middle East. Yeah, I was trying to remember which
Which
one
is
I'm missing.
and Miss
All these
Africa and
continents.
Oceania.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is ridiculous. I mean, you know what? And then you wonder why Ronald Day is now the CEO and he's part of Telemundo and all this, but they're going to do this on Telemundo. You know what? This is ridiculous.
I
They
also
have
want to
nothing
know.
else to
I
do.
also want to know what happened with Dennis Davila, because Dennis Davila is supposed to be the talent executive. He's the one who's supposed to be accompanying Victoria wherever she goes.
I never saw him
It was
involved in anything.
I know, like he's like a ghost. Like what happened?
Yeah.
What happened to him? You know that.
By the way,
very-
Rafa,
very
he
strange.
still has it. Noah still has the wrapper of the mango.
Oh, okay.
Can you see
Yeah,
it?
there you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Has he actually tried it though?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has. He said it was quite delicious. He probably
Okay.
wants more, but I don't know. Maybe the supply will be cancelled because of the drama.
I'm sure it has tons of preservatives.
But it's kind of cute. He kept it, the wrapper. Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
I think anything else that we missed?
No, I think we
I
touched
hope so.
on everything.
All right,
Not
Miss
for
World.
nothing, but it's late. So
Yes. Are
Yeah,
you guys
I
excited about
need
Miss
to-
World? Okay, Miss World, by the
Oh,
way,
yeah.
it's not you have to pay to watch Miss World the live stream on their website, which is sad because last year it was free. Do you remember?
What?
well, they need
Yeah.
money.
They need money.
It's
just
pay-per-view. Yeah.
just like anything. It's pay-per-view for like $8.99 pay-per-view.
I
So
just go to,
I think I
just go
wanna-
to Facebook
I don't know if
and somebody's gonna pay.
George, are you gonna
So
pay
it's-
to watch it?
You know, there's always a Miss World fan who will do live stream in
Exactly.
YouTube or like
Just have to
Facebook,
look.
especially from Vietnam.
But
There's
that's
always
illegal
Vietnamese
though.
live
That's
stream.
illegal.
And
So-
Telemundo.
Oh, you mean if they
and
pay and then
Well,
Yeah.
if they paid it, then it's not illegal, right? If
Exactly.
someone paid it, they did live stream.
unless there's a clause in the contract that says you cannot live stream it on other platforms.
Yeah, but
So they're gonna shut you
Telemundo-
down.
Telemundo is gonna showcase it. They already announced it. Telemundo is gonna showcase Miss World in Puerto Rico. So I'm gonna be like, okay, guys, I need somebody focusing that phone on the TV. I want to see my girl in the top 10 and maybe
Oh.
top 5. I'm winning.
Yeah, well, there are countries that will show the broadcast on national TV, but to access that online, you have to have VPN or any of these other special, live streamers and stuff, other networks. I don't know. We'll see. I have to decide whether I want to see it live, so I can just do my live reaction. Because people love my live reactions.
Yeah. Are
Alrighty.
you gonna?
All right, so
where
we're
you
all
go from?
tired. It's
I
like
gotta work
12:42.
tomorrow.
Me too.
All right. Thank you,
Good
people.
night.
Thank you. I love you all. Thank you for participating in the discussion. I'm sure we're gonna have some more discussions, especially as Miss Universe approaches, and also Miss Grand, and
Yes.
also Miss Supra. Supra is coming next month in June. Late in June.
Nobody cares about Supra. Have you noticed?
Nobody cares about Supra.
Did you see the meme? It's
I
on
care.
like social media.
Actually, tomorrow I'm interviewing Miss Supra Dominican Republic. So yeah, I'm excited about
Okay,
that.
that's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So thank you again, viewers. Please, thank you for your patronage. Please continue to like, love,
Continue
subscribe,
fighting amongst each other.
fighting amongst yourselves. Keep the
Yeah.
engagement growing and whatnot. So
Yes.
YouTube will continue to share it. George, thank you as usual.
Thank you so
Wilfredo,
much.
Noemi, looking gorgeous as ever. Okay,
Yeah.
still looking like a vampire. We should have a Miss Vampire universe. I'm sure you'll win.
There you go.
My God. There you go.
All right. Have a wonderful
All right.
weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, people.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, people.